और किसी और का चैनल से करेगा तो लोग कॉपीराइट डाल देगा। हाँ VCT से ही, हाँ वो हिंदी मतलब इंग्लिश वाला।
एक दिक्कत आ गया गेम कैप्चर का प्रो वीडियो कैप्चर। ए भाई
काला आ रहा है।
Really don't know what to make of this matchup, but as a paper girl, I will stand by.
ये कौन सा आ गया भाई? ये नहीं
Paper girl.
तीन भाषा में
Chat, who we got for the last game? It was pretty overwhelming.
ये शॉर्ट्स वाला आ गया क्या?
But who do we have now? Are we rooting for Paper X or are we rooting for Loud? Who do you think is going to win? I also asked before if you're just joining us who we thought.
ये नहीं
Sentinels, who do you want to face tomorrow? It's pretty split. Some people say Paper X, some people say Loud. They beat Loud twice.
Shots है, playoff shots.
ये वाला है।
अरे वो
explosive game. The Des pointed out that neither of these teams are playing meta, and both teams love to fight. QCK immediately has just spotted 3 people over towards tiles.
We got lucky that we didn't quite miss the action there getting into the game because
both of these teams are so fast.
Yeah, slow pause as well, just off the rip, waiting for the reaction of PaperX. And look at this, there is that reaction. Loud wandering and waiting into mid, trying to go for the double setup. Just into it now with the fault line to set this one up. They want to try and take the brawl, and it's a delayed fight, honestly. At 1 minute, who can really call it? This is it, the damage now, finally. Bullets peppering through. Blind as a bat does not matter for Kawazine. There needs to be the response, and it's there. PaperX coming out swinging. Heads have been found here, straight to the cranium. The shots, that's a little bit messy still. The job getting done. QCK, last one standing. Players are weak, walking right into him, but he instant trade. And so a pistol round for PaperX, a highlight.
4 सेकंड मारा है भाई, 4 किल निकाला 4 सेकंड.
Pistol rounds matter for both of these teams. They're leading in terms of that metric here in Madrid, but it's PaperX.
स्टार्ट हुआ 4 सेकंड मारना शुरू किया.
Guess who comes out on top throughout all of that? Being able to bail his team out of a rough situation from top mid against a tiles crunch, essentially. It's Forsaken, the guy who's been clearly, in my opinion, the best player for PaperX at this tournament. I don't think he was during kickoff. I don't think he always has been, but he is right here, right now. Getting him online, getting something online, major win conditions in a match like this where we're expecting so much of this to be brawly. I mean, Loud immediately taking a gamble in round 2, going for a mid-exploration.
Might be caught by Mindfreak. I mean, Mindfreak only has the Sheriff. Plenty of shots. Rattled away. Narrowly missing the heads here. Snakebite dropped down. Kawazine's holding some util out into his hand. Doesn't know which direction. Flash through. There it is. The follow-up and double face. Might be cleaned up, though, here by Device. Should be, at least. Nice
oh भाई साहब.
Beautiful business.
देखा कैसा वो डॉज किया? डॉज किया कैसे देखा?
For Loud, it looks like to really win this round, but a good chance to hide. Really how important winning that pistol round, and this follow-up as well is for them. I mean, PaperX and Loud with these comps, very ult generation heavy. They want to try and get these ultimates online, their attack sides. They want to go for these big XX with them. They've got util.
Gen Z भी अच्छा खेला.
Alongside the ultimates.
Yeah, and I think they're going to turn Ascent into an attack-sided map as well. It's one of the reasons I think that QCK's gone back to the Phoenix here rather than the Yoru they were dabbling with. They know that PaperX are running this comp without a Sentinel anyway. They're not worried about a Cypher or being able to get into the sites.
किसको खिला रहा है यार? ब्रीच कौन है?
Situation we find ourselves in. Very different from Meta's past when these two teams clashed.
कौन सी?
Here through thick and thin, through all the metas in Valorant.
get me wrong, I mean, PRX have never been standard, even on Ascent.
That's very true.
Playing their Reina Harbor.
They're not standard on any of the 3 maps we have today.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
Who knows which direction it's going to go into. Kawazin taking a peek and a wander. Will get at least punished for it. Head taken.
दवाई अभी फॉर्म में नहीं आया, दवाई फॉर्म में आएगा तो भाई
Looking away, but a nice double face of PRX, making sure that they clean up those mistakes. And now the smoke's dropped down. More exploration into mid. Stinger, so Forsaken can't quite take a peek, but will they clear this corner? The peek angle, Sag might just be able to react in time. It's not going to push it. It's just holding for it. 2 years. Anticipating some sort of reaction there. Something now. He's in a forward close position. Lucky to be alive there with the util out into his hands, but finally with the Paranoia Sent flying. Follow through with Devi. Watching all the appropriate angles and avenues of the plant down 2 versus 2.
PRX are going to be able to pull a lot of time off the clock here, even if Loud is successful.
In the smoke, flash around the corner, but it's an empty site. Fully evacuated. Wall up. This is cheeky. Devi now has to get a move on, pushing forwards. QCK half on the board, finds the first kill. 1 versus 1. Can he win it? To gamble! He's has he got it? Time!
भाई साहब
And that's from that half he got prior.
बाबा कुछ नहीं बोलना है.
Now that is going to obliterate the Loud economy, because it was a bonus round for PRX. But
गंदा मारा लेकिन.
be able to find the 1v2 there, defending the wall against Devi. Look, he comes off it just at the perfect time to be able to grab that one. But like I said, it's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory. Loud cannot buy into the next. So despite the fact they get on the board, PRX achieve their goals, essentially. And already we're seeing an attack-sided operator come online for something.
He loves to pull it out.
He's the strangest Gecko player you will ever watch. Do not study his VODs if you're trying to learn Gecko in your ranked games.
I've been watching some old Kang footage.
Yeah.
They really do love to opt into it.
He's also got a vendetta against Dizzy. He tosses him away and doesn't ever pick him back up.
Contacting in could be spelling his own defeat and doom here. There's a judge. Close to the corner.
अपना साउंड थोड़ा इंक्रीज करना.
Specialist with that regard. Here we go. Thrash forwards. Wants to take the fight. Shots flying through. Pellets for no kill. Only the damage being done. Munyet now fast onto the approach here. Have to cancel that off for a bit of info. Devi. And they have taken tree control. Looking to slip into the back here. Now QCK has a rifle and he's watching for this. Yeah, just holding for with that one, with the pause being called. I mean, PRX, this is a bit of nuance being added into their own gameplay here. 2 left standing, double face into heaven. That was the real threat, which was QCK with that rifle. With him dealt with, it looks like a sealed up, done deal, detained. You might see some knife action swinging around. We won't make the London reference again, but listen, you know the deal.
For a knife kill, I mean, it wasn't even a knife kill, but for the knives to be coming out for PRX in round 4, yeah, this is going to tick all the boxes.
I think it speaks massively, I think, to their mentality coming into this. I mean, Alex did a fantastic interview, really going in deep in terms of the mentality of PRX as a team. They were saying they'd be happy if they just got 1 win at this event. They're treating it as almost like just a practice boot camp. And so the fact that they've made playoffs, they're playing with house money. You might not think that's much, honestly, if you're listening to that as a viewer at home, but I tell you now, there is no team more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose.
Yeah. And a team that's readjusted their expectations. Oh, this is a great idea from PRX. They're making it feel like it's full A main exec, and they've got Munyet so deep.
Discord भी stream हो गया क्या?
As if everybody's coming towards A main.
Rapid here with a nightfall as well. Sound cues cut away. It's going to be breaking the glass and all in their faces. More. They know that they've got a couple of trails, so that's why the nade's rebounding under, below. Next, but there it is. They're just wrapping around and collecting onto 2 years. Too much to deal with. Rocket in your face. But yet, eager to really prove his worth.
हाँ, फेडर इसका बहुत अच्छा है, पता है, बहुत अच्छा. एक तो फेड का वो भी कम कर देता है ना. फेड का ऐसे भी हेल्थ कम कर देता है ना. सप्रेस कर देता है. सप्रेस करने के बाद फिर नेड तो और पावरफुल. नेड और पावरफुल हो जाता है उसमें.
And so fluidly, people just assume it's very intuitive and there isn't too much thought really going on. That round, they're making it feel like a big A exec. All of the utility is coming through A, and Munyet finds the timing down mid. when you're a defender on Ascent, if you see utility being piled into A main and you're playing in like tree or grass, you are going to focus on A main. You expect it to be 4 or 5 people
If
coming
कर लिया
from
ना
that direction. And so the fact that PaperX have 2 going through as
कौन
an A
choose किया
split,
इसे?
even though they're not throwing
भाई
utility,
इसे cloud
पेपर एक्स ही लिया होगा
absolutely ruins this defense. The small adjustments that they make are lovely.
PRX loud
But I
के
feel like
सामने
we've seen this team
लेगा
evolve over the
अरे
course of this tournament.
They have, yeah.
ये किसका है डिफेंडिंग किसका है
Telling the truth. When he says that when they came into this, they were only looking for one win.
देखो वो
And
तो
I was watching them
डिफेंडिंग जिसका है वही ना लेगा
impressed with what I was seeing from
No, it
Paper.
was very slapdash, you know, they were throwing ideas into the mix. It looked like they were really
नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता
improvising.
मैप मान लो
Just
तुम
to pull
सेलेक्ट कर
another
रहे ना
quote from
तो
that exact
Uh-huh.
same interview that you referenced in Brett. Alex, the coach, said, we have problems that we need to fix.
कौन
It's
से
too
साइड
little
पे
time,
खेलना है
too
वो
much to do.
अपोनेंट सेलेक्ट
We've been
Time out
carried
ले लिया
by
ना,
individual
loud.
performances, in my opinion, rather than good gameplay and good Valorant. But to me, actually, some of that incredible individual performance
इतना जल्दी टाइम आउट क्यों लिया लेकिन
to start figuring out what is working for them.
वो तब लगा स्ट्रीक तोड़ने के लिए
They are
स्ट्रीक तोड़ने के लिए थोड़ा सा टाइम ले लिया
both teams could win.
लगातार जीत रहा है
We have here. And it's so difficult to predict because they play such
मेन
off
इसी
meta
के लिए ही
styles.
जाता है
You know, when are
Strategy
either
तो
of
क्या
these
ही
teams
discuss करेगा वो लोग
going to
तो
be
वो
practicing
पहले से
for
plan
what the other
करके
person is doing? There's
Never.
nobody plays like Loud and nobody plays like Paper.
मोमेंटम तोड़ने के लिए
मोमेंटम बस वही तो है ही है।
So a blistering pace to begin here from PaperX.
ये पता है मतलब लाइव मैचेस में भी देना चाहिए नहीं लगता है
I feel like the old
थोड़ी देर के लिए देना चाहिए
being read out
क्या
aloud.
चीज
They've had
टाइम आउट का ऑप्शन
now to
क्या
reinvent
चीज
themselves ever so
कॉम्पिटिटिव वगैरह में टाइम आउट का ऑप्शन
With a timeout, we're heading into the
अच्छा
half
इसमें
five.
हम लोग में
हाँ
About some of the mistakes, the adjustments.
हाँ दे सकता है
देना चाहिए
And I think one of the
लेकिन
things
कैसे
we've seen
देगा
from Valorant
ऑनलाइन गेम
is
है
that
ना
they're very
तो
willing
थोड़ा
to fight.
हाँ तो दोनों का रुकेगा ना बात ये है
You see the angle that Kalanzine is currently playing at. Think about Sadek with the
10
judge.
सेकंड के लिए 20 सेकंड के लिए
Aggressively.
क्यों नहीं दी
They want to contest PaperX and not just give them
मान लो हम लोग हार ही रहे हैं अगर लगातार हार रहे हैं तो फिर एक टाइम आउट लेकर के रुक सकते हैं थोड़ा सा ज्यादा नहीं एक ही
सकते हैं
Okay.
Especially if
एक दो भी देगा तो बहुत है
shots
अरे
like that.
नाइन
Just off the
तो
cue of the
सेकंड
flash.
से नहीं सके
Two players are left stacked now. Cat is being watched. You can see something. He's got his eye on it. Anticipating that there might be that.
समथिंग इधर होल्ड करके
सेकंड
रखा
ही
है
खराब खेला
On
तो
the mark
पिछला
here
हारा था
for
पेपर
the round. Definitely time to play with.
अभी तो बढ़िया खेल रहा है लेकिन
But if they do walk into the bucky,
हाँ
there's
इधर
some
आ
level of danger here. I mean,
हाँ अभी 4
Sadek can't really
सेकंड
escape
पिछला मैच
though.
नहीं खेल पाया था
no, but Mindfreak is way ahead
4
of the
सेकंड
pack,
को
so I don't think
टारगेट
he's
कर
gonna
लिया
get
था
traded,
Loud
and he isn't. So Sadek's still stuck here. Might have to use util. Nade drop down as well. This guy is now a nuisance. A thorn in their side. He's buying them time, and the mosh pit has to be committed. Force him out wide into the open. Still
पूरा लॉक कर दिया भाई इसको
Monya, he walked in through A main.
Okay, well, he's found that timing from the classic. Okay, a heaven position. 2 years. He's got his, and now it is a little bit
Blind हुआ
scrappy.
But they
Words are used.
ओह भाई
But Monya lurked in through A main, and now Davai is lurking in through B main. So because Loud are playing this composition, oh my god, what a shot!
भाई
Because Loud are playing the comp without
Oh,
the sentinels,
this
that
guy
doesn't
have
play spread
deleted.
around the map, that needs to
Pura.
keep up and fight and peek for info. PaperX are finding those lurk timings real nicely.
वो स्कोपिंग नहीं हटाया लेकिन देखे उसका
Flustered when Sadek got that initial kill.
टाइम टेकिंग है ना स्कोपिंग हटाने से
Arguably here, lit up a beacon pointing directly towards in a double face.
भाई
No
इतना
rotation in the
इतना
play.
एक्यूरेट कैसे मार दिया भाई
टाइमिंग हो जाता ना मान लो
Don't
पिक
think
कर
that
देता
they
तो
were
खत्म हो
anticipating
जाता
the
हाँ
whole
वही
Forsaken being deep on the B site. They just weren't ready for that haunt lineup in the slightest. Bear in mind that this was a light buy round.
देखो ना देखो ये वाला शॉट
It wasn't the most danger in the world. That
Blind
timeout that
में।
we're talking about, Brenda Loud took, that's for the rifle round coming up here.
गायब
We
कर
can see
दिया
that
भाई
QCK is going for an operator. So you've got the Phoenix op online. Get your bingo cards out. Did you have that one down? Phoenix op versus Gecko op.
There's no chance. Just no chance at all. Fast though, a lot of util.
हाँ,
now
Loud
being
ही choose
dumped
किया है, देखा
straight
है
into main.
लाउड चूज किया है
Response though, that was a paranoia fragment.
Yeah, actually
ruler
so much
attacking
utility
लिया।
being used there by Loud because every other team would
PaperX।
cancel
अगला
if they get
sunset है
full 5-person hit by the KO knife, but not PaperX. They will still try to apply pressure to you,
सनसेट पेपर
trying
एक
to look
चूज
for that
किया
timing.
देखो ना लिखा है
हाँ वहाँ ऊपर में लिखा है
पेपर
More
एक्स का
utility
मार्क
than you would normally expect, but just giving so
No
much
way.
respect.
Hit the TP. Must
भाई थोड़ा और पीछे
Certainly thinking about it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Almost expecting it now, and a call's been made here.
वही
Sadak.
पंचहत्तर
Reclear into
भी
mid.
तो मैंने
Possibly some util to set this one up with the Prowler. PaperX going to be aware. Nade going wide here. But yet no one to cover. Kawazine. Disgusting work. And QCK.
Trade ले लिया।
Here are the lurkers. 1-3-1 default for PRX. It's on Mindfreak or something to try to find timings. The spike dropped makes everything way more difficult.
Whoa, what a
Mindfreak,
shot.
Yeah, he does find that opening.
Here, being defended up into mid, crouched, tucked into the corner. That's Sadak. He's essentially alone in this spot. They've doubled up through main. Now he's crouching to find that angle and fight. So 1v3 looks just less and less likely. Okay, saves the day there for Loud.
And Loud choosing to try to fight over mid. I think they're getting the read now. After the timeout, the PRX are playing pretty heavy for mid. And with the ball that Loud goes for,
कौन मारा भाई?
fighting that cat.
समथिंग दिया? नहीं दवाई। QC के मारा? ओ भाई साहब सही मारा लेकिन। तो है डिफेंडिंग मैप ही है। हार रहा है अलग बात है लेकिन है डिफेंडिंग मैप।
लेकिन लाउड का कंपोजिशन देखेगा तो अटैकिंग है, केओ है, काउजिन है और फिनिक्स है।
भाई अटैकिंग में क्या हालत खराब कर देगा लोग। ब्लाइंड देख रहे हो कितना है?
और दो वही ना, और दो ब्लाइंड देखो, दो
फिर क्विक मारा।
I like that Loud swap it up. Previous round they were playing heavy for mid, now they're playing heavy for the outsides of the map. And Sadak, he's used the ult there. I'm not exactly sure what pressure that was off, but he certainly thought something was happening.
Did indeed Forsaken. Oh my, looked all the way up. How was he even expecting? No, he's backing away. Silent jumps up though. I don't think Forsaken knows that he's backed away from the angle. He's waiting for time, honestly, making a lot of noise on both sides of the map. There's a thrash, and Munyet just making it feel like it could be present over towards any direction. QCK layers down with a volley, but a TP making a lot of noise on both sides of the map. There's a thrash, and Munyet just making it feel like it could be presence over towards any direction. QCK layers down with a volley, but a TP forwards to just get right past it. Divide slunk his way into the site, but can he follow up with this kill here? There's so much going on all over the place.
Yeah, Forsaken lurking through mid, caught though, and now Munyet becomes the other lurker.
25 seconds left. He loses this duel at 2 years. Critical one of that. Even no gaps here into the play. Judge right in his face, and Operator as well. The barrel practically in his mouth.
That is a berserker's into position. It's just that none of them actually found any success. Alex is calling a timeout here and might want to readjust the game plan to have less of the lurk plays going on. But to be honest, look, Forsaken's got a chance of making something happen there. I don't think Cowancy knows that he's around. And if Munyet is able to win the duel against 2Es, these lurkers are finding opportunities, but when they lose their duel, it looks like they were just destined to fail. But with PRX's style, if they win that fight, suddenly there's a gap in the defense, and PRX are very opportunistic. They do tend to exploit those fairly well. So certainly a weird round, not a successful one for PRX on their attack side, but indicating a little bit of their game plan that Alex might try to adjust.
Good time to talk about Loud's expectations, I think.
PRX अपना लिया time out.
Right? Yeah. The team that are eager to try and take that battle again against Sentinels, who've just been knocked down into the lowers. So winning this matchup would guarantee that rematch.
इसका दो ही राउंड मिला ना इन लोग को अभी लगातार.
Loud में
shut down, put down. Most recent 2 attempts.
क्या Loud में?
It was a very close series the last time those two teams played. So listen, they're going to be looking to try and pave that way to redemption. Revenge maybe on the cards too.
Both of these squads had to retool in the offseason after losing a superstar player. You lost Aspas for Loud, you lost Jing for PRX. Alex was difficult. It's been readjusting to life post-Jing. Loud were nose to the grindstone immediately. Started in October, only taking about a month break after champs, and tried to reinvent themselves, find this new style. And this is what they've settled on.
Hello. Brawl to be taken here. This is an onslaught approaching from every single direction, and nobody can hang on. PRX didn't stand a chance. They're the ones that's supposed to be going for the W gaming.
And such a classic, great idea from Loud. You come out of your opponent's timeout and run a set play to steal the tempo, and they've wiped the floor with PRX. An absolutely flawless round. You'll see that so often. It's a great idea. Your opponent takes a timeout. They clearly want to adjust something about their attack style. And you say, right, well, we're just going to force the fight to them. And they go for a bit of a tiles crunch there, punishing a very wide jumping by Montage.
जंप पिक
भाई
दिया था
क्या मतलब एक दूसरे को कवर किया हो रहा था हर जगह से, कोई ना कोई कवर दे ही रहता है किसी को, कोई पुश कर रहा है तो पीछे से कवर मिल रहा है।
वो हमेशा हाँ कुछ भी
Been watching the Howdong VODs.
Yeah, apparently. China gets wild with those. Strange economical purchases. Still, Prowler
double-minded
setting it
तुमको
up.
गेम खेलने
Disrespect by something. Look at this guy. He's up onto the angle. Doesn't care that he stand up. Hits it with a second shot. Finally, the second
टर्न में मार
bullet.
दिया भाई।
Dashing in with the satchel. He's upset the aim entirely. Kaozin.
मोनियट कर क्या रहा था, नाच दिया गया सामने भाई,
इसका यही काम ही है 50% चांस
Pretty sublime.
नाच दिया।
मारने आएगा उसको मारना वही ना
Only chances here.
QCK is going to be ulting back in potentially with only an off
पहले
to work with.
यूटिलिटी डाला
Wall down in his
अबे दे दे,
कर दिया
How does that one catch? Everybody's giving this up a look. Spike, what is that? Hello. 2 years.
चलते चलते दे
Chasing
दिया
him
मतलब
overextension.
देख रहा
I
है ये
don't
सब
think there's any
mix कभी
chances.
नहीं
Listen,
करता।
surely time is running out, but
आसपास
handing these kills just over to him.
And considering the Paper X's economy was not amazing to come into this round, these are not fantastic kills to be given in the other direction, but it won't make too much difference because we're so close to the end of the half.
Yeah. Maybe a 200 IQ player didn't see how close they were to the ultimates, but maybe they're like, okay, let's just feed our life away. 2 years has already got it. Let's try and build up ours.
What a way of entering. Right? Monjet skipping, jumping into the site, the spacing perfect for the trade.
skipping, jumping,
Coordination not quite as good there. We'll keep an eye on that.
Did him dirty.
Oh, you know the camera operators are watching for every one.
तो
of
1
those
HP में
before
भी
मोनियट
जाना है
सबसे बड़ा काम किया, गया घुसा, गेट बंद किया वो।
to be main.
Face your fear.
वही
Early
और
knife falls.
नाचने
It's an
लगा
attempt of a
उसके
fake. Early knife gives it away. Only one tag.
बचा कैसे वो बड़ा बात है
Taken, so the goal of that
भाई,
round is to try and
वन साइड ऑन किया देखा,
play over towards A.
वाइपर।
The sound cues. Odin spam spraying through. They are getting
ओ
absolutely
भाई
destroyed here.
साहब, मार ही दिया एक।
Something managed to win his one, at least through the main angle. Alter now with that showstopper, wants to send it and let it rip. Rolling Thunder cannot save you away from that one. It's explosive,
Oof.
high octane action, but an adjustment there.
हाय
Beautiful.
हाय,
Really just expecting that reposition, and it's now catching the tempo and the timings here, walking right into it, but misses the opportunity. 2 years. Jump spots, gets a bit of additional information.
Good patience though, not trying to force the
देखा तो
fight in this
मूवमेंट देखा
situation.
पीछे आके जंप
Have a play
पड़
around
भाई
the
बहुत हार्ड मूवमेंट इतना इन लोग का रहता है भाई कि
Forsaken and something
सही
pushes
रहता है।
out.
Feels confident enough to use the thrash here to try and clear his way forwards. Popping up onto the
पूरा
boxes.
practice करता है।
Forsaken.
गायब,
Walkabout
और सेकंड को गायब कर दिया।
हम लोग का ट्रेनिंग वाला नहीं है, वहाँ जाके नहीं, कूदने वाला।
Should be unwinnable. Blind as anything. Hasn't given it away though.
तो
Still
prize
is holding the
मिलता है
shift key
जब।
this entire time. If he opens himself too wise, QCK's already there. Justin, did he see anything? Not too sure.
Quickly घुस रहा है।
Will be made jumping down, and there it
ओह,
is. The kill found.
लगा था वही मारेगा।
Very
ये बढ़िया खेल रहा है लेकिन।
we've had so far here. Paper X have found some opportunities to burst into the site, but the more that they default, the more louder
लाउड
becomes the
अच्छा ही
fight.
खेल रहा। कल सेंटिनल का मैच जो तुम देखता ना, लाउड
So
वर्सेस
there,
सेंटिनल,
cute idea from Paper X,
कितना
like you said,
क्लोज
going
मैच
for that
सब
fake play.
हारा है ना लाउड।
Exec, it wasn't quite
कल तो देख नहीं पाया यार, बिजी थे बहुत।
certainly not
सब मैच में लाउड पांचों जन को मार दे रहा था,
right behind Monjet on the entry.
लेकिन टाइम नहीं रह रहा था
Perhaps lacking that
डिफ्यूज
fade.
करने का। हर बार
In
यही
terms
हो
of the
रहा था।
pressure that they put onto
हम्म,
Big. Final round of the half, chances to tie this up, but Paper X is
अब ये सेंटिनल्स और ये
Oh yeah.
compared with
जेनजी का देखे ना पूरा,
setups I saw for a moment there on Loud. They probably toss them
सेंटिनल्स बहुत कोशिश किया, पता है, बहुत कोशिश किया रिटेक करने का,
Play over towards A because
रिटेक ही नहीं कर पा रहा था।
not being contested.
बढ़िया खेल गया जेनजी।
हाँ, लेकिन ब्रीज में नहीं कर पाया। ब्रीज में तो एकदम
हम्म।
साइडेड हरा दिया।
हाँ उसमें तो वन साइड आ रहा है, एकदम बहुत गंदा रहा है।
No, he's not. I mean, they don't. You know, you would be a little cautious in this situation. For
बीज में है भी थोड़ा मुश्किल है भाई,
He's not worried.
Nice shot. 2 years.
उसमें पहले डिफेंडिंग मिल गया तो मतलब हार हो गई।
बाल के थ्रू से दे दी।
Ball thrown at them. Still, it's back to a multitude of players now, and he's got to try and at least put up that wall to try and prevent them
देखा
from
तुम
getting
क्या
past
किया
it.
था
2 years.
हम्म,
Position still with the operator, and
कड़ा
those
दिया।
are the ones who aren't coming up with
The
really
blind
any of
मारा,
the appropriate
right side
answers.
molly
Double
फेंक
smokes
दी।
out to try and get themselves into position, but it's being spammed with the rifle at work.
देखो ना,
Hopes and
स्मोक।
dreams placed onto the end of the barrels. and everything stolen away from them. So
नहीं घुसने देगा भाई लोग.
doing a miraculous job there, honestly.
अब तो खत्म हुआ ना एक हाफ.
I think this map is probably going to be a little attack-sided. I think it bodes fairly well for Loud that they were able to pick up so many rounds towards the end of that. It's a game of two halves there. Brutal.
खड़ा मारा भाई.
I think the adjustments looked nice. 2Es with the operator on Omen ended up playing really well.
He's getting tremendous value, putting in work. Well, earlier we spoke to QCK just before this match. Let's hear from it.
ये मैच लाउड को जाएगा देखना.
Sou o Gabriel, mais conhecido como QCK, atualmente duelista da Loud. Não sei muito específico o que eles tiveram de diferente, mas eles tiveram mais momentos dentro do jogo, conseguiram otimizar os momentos.
अरे नहीं, ये वाला मैच जाएगा.
Quebrava a economia.
इसके बाद क्या होगा वो तो पता चलेगा उसमें.
E aí o jogo ficou um pouco complicado. Falar sobre isso logo depois da derrota
Sunset में.
é complicado, tô me sentindo triste, sentimento ruim, mas o campeonato ainda não acabou. A gente tem muito pra mostrar ainda, então sem muitas delongas, vamos pro próximo jogo. Sendo bem sincero, não importa. Perder independente de round. Perder por um round ou por 14 é a mesma coisa.
सेंटिनल्स और जो जिंजी अभी हारा ना, हारने का सबसे बड़ा रीजन क्या था पता है? वाह वाह, क्योंकि अच्छा खेलता है, फॉर्म में पूरा.
Eu só sou um novo jogador do time, o time se tornou um time novo, com novas formas de jogar, novas composições, então acredito que
एसपेस का ऑपरेटर तो वाह वाह.
confiança a palavra, mas traz um conforto por você jogar com pessoas.
वही देख देख करके तो ऑप्टिमस प्राइम सीखा है. ऑप्टिमस प्राइम तो वही देख देख के सीखे हैं.
Esse estilo de jogo, então a gente vai saber lidar com eles.
उसका और लेकिन कान तो और अलग लेवल.
Just really interesting insight into QCK and his ideas. You know, he's coming into this team. Obviously, a lot of players saying, and a lot of players, fans watching it, saying, "Well, he's replacing Aspas."
अभी जो जिंजी और इसका मैच हुआ, क्या बोलते हैं, सेंटिनल्स का, इसमें सेंटिनल्स का हारने का सबसे बड़ा रीजन ये था कि वो लोग लाइटली ले लिया यंगस्टर्स को देख करके. बहुत शुरू में लाइटली लिया. वो पहला राउंड अगर नहीं लेने देता ना, पहला मैच अगर नहीं लेने देता ना तो बस खत्म था. दूसरा मैच अच्छा लिया, लेकिन वापस लोग रिटेक जो अच्छा किया था सेंटिनल्स भाई. अटैकिंग में कितना अच्छा सही पुश कर रहा था वो लोग सेंटिनल्स. डिफेंडिंग भी ठीक किया था, लेकिन अटैकिंग बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा था सेंटिनल्स का. बाद में तो पूरा वन साइड हो गया.
Interesting that PRX have gone for a defensive wall that allows them to, you know, contest mid as well. So they're not worried about Loud's wall.
Given that presence, Loud now opting to just contact in through A. And it's an open site, it's a free site. It seems to be a bit of a read. Look at them, they're just fast on the approach. Maybe just hearing those sound cues out towards tree, but it closed the door in their face. A bit of stray damage. Sadak is going to be safe though. Safe and sound, able to get that plant down.
They need reinforcements quickly. Their PRX are apt to flood defend. Common Scene Less is still really far away.
Pause in the play, a bit of a break in the timing, at least taken one yet still with that nade. Now, does he choose to use it? Fragment. First wave of it being used out. Here it sends it. Paranoia go flying along with the Dizzy. Swarming into the site. Yeah, 3 players into hell. Anything to clear this one. Might have to just jump in. It's a beautiful smoke. 2Us is using it to just divide up this site as well, and it's making it more than difficult. Damn difficult. Have on a defuse. Might make a difference. PRX, mind free. Going forwards. Right click. Away. An absolute bundle differential. Something running. A mockery. Straight through main.
गंदा.
Plenty of time available to them. Beautiful floor.
बहुत अच्छा खेला भाई.
I don't know how he's managed to pull that one out. 3 players in hell with the smoke set up. The spike is planted for them.
Replay.
Yeah, of course it's favorite stuff.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Look at that thing. It shoots different.
Sale numbers up. Get the chart out. Get the chart out.
Why is there a dinosaur? Don't know. Don't care.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah, that's a nasty round from Mindfreak. Nothing more to it, really, is there? Loud had a game plan. It got dismantled by some right clicks from the classic.
Sometimes it be like.
अच्छा ये लोग स्टार्टिंग में जो एबिलिटीज वगैरह यूज कर देता है.
PRX being able to win the pistol round, right? They won the first.
आवाज आ रही है?
And
और स्टार्टिंग में ये लोग एबिलिटी वगैरह यूज कर देता है, मतलब फिर वेस्ट करने का फायदा क्या जब कोई दिख ही नहीं रहा फिर भी।
ऐसे ही ट्राई मतलब कि अगर आगे पुश किया होगा तो वो लोग एक गेस स्ट्रेटजी लेता है, उसको फॉलो करता है पूरा।
Could try and pivot, but not now.
They couldn't get away. They simply couldn't get away from something with this judge.
Chasing them down. And into mid as well. Pistols out now. Wants to take the long range fight. You know the players are tucked into the corner. There it is, cleared out. Last one to stand here. So an important beginning really for PRX. I mean,
ये लोग तो यूज नहीं करता है, तुम्हारा डुएलिस्ट कोई एबिलिटी नहीं यूज करता है, मतलब अनलेस अनटिल कोई दिखे, अनलेस अनटिल कोई दिखे तब तक कोई एबिलिटी यूज नहीं करता है। बाकी जो होल्ड करने वाले हैं सेंटिनल्स वाले वो लोग यूज कर रहे हैं बस, सेंटिनल्स और कंट्रोलर बस ये लोग तो यूज कर रहे हैं।
तो वो लोग का काम ही है ना कि इनिशिएटर, वो लोग को पता करना है, वो लोग यूटिलिटी यूज करता है ये पता करने के लिए कहाँ पर बंदा है, कौन सा बंदा है।
इंडिया में ऐसा सोच वाला कोई है ही नहीं, मुंबई सर्वर में।
It's a lot of util, but it's all a fake. It's to make you feel like they're fighting over A. And PRX already out there, looking to try to catch a reposition elsewhere on the map. Now Loud have just decided to slowly contact reclear this area, which is a serious gamble, but they have called the bluff of PRX.
वन साइड स्मोक करके होल्ड क्यों नहीं किया? तो ना वहाँ पे बैठ गया है, दौड़ा दिया।
Spam down, losing his life, but here we are. Another close plant situation. Loud will be getting this plant down with no.
कुछ मतलब नहीं वहाँ कोई है कि नहीं, मॉली कर दिया बस।
No, probably not playing up close though. QCK.
मॉली कर दिया। Oh, he
laid down, backing away. Now, PRX did use a lot of that util just in the beginning of that round, so I don't know how much they've got now for this retake attempt. The weapon is not too ideal either, but Dizzy does the work. 3 revealed and suppressed out there. Forsaken is just in their faces now. Still trying to double up into hell.
Against the judges.
Just pushing them back as well, and it's just random spam and spraying through. PRX, man! Running them through. And still now the sticking on. Broken. Destroyed in the process. Man's there, ready to try and pick up the pieces of this fight. But Carry set the aim in time. Something. Drop.
एक सेकंड के लिए लगा था कि ले लेगा।
Little bit of danger. Pretty decent damage, considering that was a bonus round.
मतलब PRX ले लेगा राउंड, एक सेकंड के लिए ऐसा लगा था।
Just managed to get enough kills from 2Es, holding out in A main, supporting the rest of his team. And so here we see one Odin being picked up for PRX. This is what their setup's going to look like a little more often. That's over towards B main. Now, Les is usually going to be trying to take B main control, and the Odin's powerful there. But actually, we're seeing a fight on the exact opposite side of the map. He's so aggressive with the op.
ओह,
Just takes it to him. And that's because Loud, you know, they're waiting for
इसको बोलते हैं असली गायब करना।
And they think that they're ready for it. I mean, they're holding that with a lot of players. But someone's just too quick with it, man. Too quick with it. 8 rebounds close to the corner. That's Munya hoping to catch him.
Replay तो आएगा इसका।
What I love about something is he's so good with Gecko's mobility utility, the legs.
Yeah, I love the way he presses 3 on the keyboard and pulls out the knife just to run away. Oh, he does it better than anybody.
Divide does not have a
दवाई पीक ही नहीं देगा।
He's got to rely on the thrash.
Yeah, he's using the thrash to try to set
ओ भाई दे दिया।
Good return on the fire there from Sadak. Gets the trade off at least, attainment into the corner, so it slowed them down once more, but 3 seconds left into the round. No prior map control here for Loud.
Yeah, they've stacked everything in a fight over towards A main. They're losing it.
अल्ट है ना इसके वो
3 players ready to collect.
सड़क पे।
Orb. Placed by Les. Trying to use this to try and get themselves into position. That spam, the spray, few stray bullets, TP forwards into the mix of things. But listen, Munya inside the smoke. Loud paving the way forwards here. It's brute force. It seems to be the name of the game, but only one player will stand. Sanak, the IGL. There's no
अल्ट क्यों नहीं किया?
Collected.
जब पुश करना ही था तो अल्ट करना चाहिए था।
And this is a very classic round by Loud. They realize that their composition is extremely good at A executes.
सड़ा को करना चाहिए था।
At the start of these rounds.
अभी कोई की अल्ट करेगा।
And even if you know that they're going A, their comp is very, very difficult to stop once they send a big exec into you. But before they can even start to take A main control, something's already
खासकर जब एम अच्छा हो।
very beginning of the round. their duelist player who hasn't
फिर एम अच्छा है तो बहुत काम कर
obviously हाँ.
Clear win con.
और कोई की का एम अच्छा है भी
Reminds me of when PRX played against Gen G in the regional finals, and Gen G absolutely
तो रहेगा
countershot
इस
the
लेवल पे
ever-loving
खराब रहेगा
sugar
लाउड
round.
खरीदा उसको
And
अरे मतलब
extremity control because the comps operate in
मतलब उसका वो क्या बोलते हैं
disrupting that
रिएक्शन टाइम कम है ना
And I think Loud's comp does struggle the more you force it to
मार
mid and try
मार
to
लेगा एक
control these kind of things. It doesn't have, for example, a fade or a sova to be able to use drone utility or a recon.
ऐसे
to
क्या
clear out
टोपी
close
पहन रहा
corners.
है
It's much
बार
better
बार
at being
गिरा
able to get these big retakes, big aces.
टोपी गिर रहा है भाई
Loud are skilled enough, talented enough to adjust the game plan on the fly, but they're always going to be limited by what the comp is good at versus what it's not good at. I think PaperX has got a nice read here. It's also great to see something, hitting shots, feeling aggressive, going for plays. Because I feel like outside of one awesome game against Carmine Corp, he hasn't
गेक को
quite
लेके
been
ऑफ
at the
करवा
top
दिया
level that I
15 किल
expect
किया
from
देखो
him.
ना 15
हम फिर ऑफ पकड़ा हुआ है वो
Well, I mean, if you take a gander at any of the PaperX vlogs as well, you see it. You know, he can wears his heart in his sleeve. Actually, he has to be picked up.
अच्छा ये मरा नहीं था ना
इक्वली
समथिंग नहीं मरा था
Around him, being the support staff and the players, his teammates.
नहीं नहीं
And when he has good games, you know, this guy is just unleashed.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
भगा दिया
Well, we
समथिंग
know
को
where he's positioned at the moment, and that's where you should expect the op to play.
हाँ
Any
समथिंग
flashes
का
to
ले
play
लिया ना
off the
पोजीशन
line.
पता चल गया
अभी मेन से आके नहीं मार देगा उसको समथिंग को
पुश कर रहा है
Odin spam and spray through. Jump and spot. You do
नहीं,
not
उधर
survive
को
that
देख रहा होगा
apparently. It's a nice
होल्ड
attempt
कर रहा है
to
भाई
clear,
पूरा
but
ओ मार ही दिया
swarm the positions. They're getting
समथिंग ही मार दिया
absolutely
मेन को भी
artillery.
दे दी
Still 1 HP, man. 1 HP. And maybe more than a dream. He's
गया
managed to
भाई
bring this
1
to a
HP
2v2.
में
Doesn't
गायब
have
कर
the
दे रहा
spike
देख
there.
रहा
That was
है
dropped down a little bit earlier.
Look how bold Forsaken is. He just jumped up on the same spot with a classic in hand. 2Es?
छुपा हुआ है बगल में
He's seen it!
अरे
Just
भाई
sees him crouch.
That's unreal!
Near an
गया
बहुत गंदा एंगल था बहुत गंदा एंगल था भाई
And he's thinking, how on earth have my team
वो
lost
मोनियट
this?
देखो कहाँ पे है
है ही नहीं बी पे
No shot. I mean, less.
भाई मोनियट
दोनों 1
Of course,
HP
being
है
a difference
दोनों 1
maker.
HP
Now they don't know where Monya is.
They have no idea. And PaperX
पूरा दिमाग
पूरा दिमाग लगा रहा है
defense, so they assume that he's close.
30 seconds
Now
left.
Monyet's wondering, well, where have they gone? Because if they were just on B, surely
रिटेक करने का कोशिश करेगा
को लग रहा है इधर आएगा ये लोग
How low he's
प्लांट नहीं कर रहा है
जब आवाज गया होगा ना
प्लांट नहीं कर
आ
रहा
गया
That one away from the
कर दिया
showstopper. He really wanted to try and seal the deal.
आते दोनों 1
He's
HP है
got a lot to clear here, but maybe
देख लिया
get a bit of that information. Pulls out the rifle, expecting the re-swing. Both the players are towards the back of the site now. A smoke, drop down, classic out. Thinks twice against it, thinks second against it. Boombot forwards, that's gonna have to be broken. Nade, rebounds, out wide.
Oh,
now
boy.
he's firing. Here's the rocket. Talked about it earlier.
Oh,
Across the corner,
boy.
but he guesses incorrectly, and now he's left wondering.
जाओ
How
गलत
did he
थोड़ा सा
reposition?
एंटीसिपेट कर
Time
लिया
ticking, ticking, shortly getting away.
भाई
He thinks he's behind the ball.
पीक ही नहीं दे रहा वो
He's gone behind. 2 years wins it out in a matter
अरे यार
भाई 1 HP में गायब कर दिया
what a wild way to end that round. I'm really unsure how it even got to
उसको लगा उसका ट्रेड लेगा इसलिए उसने पास में ही फेंक दिया
those players. The less information that was
हाँ
available,
पास
the
में
more it
लेकिन
made
वो
the
सही
best
दिमाग
decision.
लगा
हाँ दिमाग सही लगाया हाँ वो होल्ड कर गया ना
Walking through B main.
कोई भी सोच ये देखो कैसे मरा
लेकिन इन लोग ने बना दिया
That
हाँ
spot.
unheard of.
पैर दिख गया
एंगल गलत लेके बैठा ही था वो
God, that's a face of resignation almost. on
और
Alex's
होर्डिन
face.
लेके वो एंगल कौन बैठता है भाई
वही वही
Normally a little more animated than that.
कब करेगा अल्ट भाई ये विकी
Or mewing, not too sure.
Yeah.
पूरा दिमाग
Either inspired by Marcus Aurelius or Sigma males.
दो मॉली वेस्ट हुआ भाई उधर
Very similar, actually. Very similar.
फिनिक्स का मॉली तो पहुंचा ही नहीं हुआ
So Loud now
look
in a
big.
great position, right? Having won that round, it just
लेकिन
turns the
वही
whole
है
of Ascent, at least this half, on its head,
इन लोग पोजीशन ले लिया 3 लोग हैं वहाँ पे
right? They're going to be in a position where they've got a good
रोटेट कर गया एक ही जाना है इधर
to
बी पे
work with. And they're also coming into this round
बस फेड है
with a huge rifle advantage.
चार उधर है भाई दो ट्री खेल रहा है दो हेवन खेल रहा है
अल्ट नहीं वेस्ट करेगा ना इस बार सेव राउंड है वो लोग
So scary, even though they're one round behind in reality.
That's when they start to come alive.
दौड़ के आएगा ना वो लोग
Spot here. That's how pivotal that last round was for PaperX.
वाइपर रोटेट किया
The week goodbye for Forsaken. How much is he really going to be able to do here with a running back face?
कर दिया
QCK going to be making sure to clear audience. the available corners. Has a bit of util to set him up. Knife out. One to the cranium. Does drop that one. Here we go. Second go of things. Taken doing quite well in that position there, but
देखना 4 सेकंड इससे
ज्यादा Serif से
Playing on-site post plants. You know, even if Loud are able to get this, PaperX can make it extremely expensive.
ओमेन कल्ट है दवाई का
Defense spawn.
क्या ही करेगा दवाई अल्ट करके
लेकिन लोग क्या ही यूज करें गन ही नहीं
ये कर सकते हैं कि मतलब पता तो कर सकते हैं ना कौन कहाँ पे इतने जने नहीं है
क्या चीज अच्छा ऊपर क्यों होल्ड कर रहा है अच्छा नेड नहीं क्या क्यों होल्ड कर रहा है
पता नहीं गया ब्लाइंड करके दिया ओ भाई साहब
almost nice of the movement there from Divide, but shut down there. 2 players surviving from Loud, 9-9.
Free kick को तो दे दिया
And Loud keep enough players alive that they do still have that cushion to work with. Tuis can drop Sadak and they've got a good buy going with some spare.
बेफालतू का कुछ एबिलिटी यूज नहीं कर रहा है
It's Loud's ults.
हमको लगा कि ये दवाई अल्ट करके कुछ चेक वेक करेगा कहाँ पे कौन नहीं है कितना लोग है नहीं है नहीं किया कुछ भी नहीं किया
सेव राउंड था ना कैसे कर
pressure on Mindfreak.
हां वही सेव राउंड की वजह से ही नहीं किया
Down, knife spam into the corner. Mindfreak already dropped down to 50 for mine. He's dead. He's gone. Finished. Dealt with.
दिया
Now, to be honest, Loud have
कहां
no
तक
reason
स्पैम किया है देखो
to
ना
immediately go into a B site.
पूरा लाइन बना दिया
They know that Paperx
Line
are
से
very
spam
fast
मार
at
दिया
defensive rotations. They cleared out Gelato early. Loud can just pump the brakes here and allow
हम लोग क्यों नहीं खेलते भाई ओडिन से
or even force them into making
सब गे चिल्लाने लगता है
ओडिन कड़ा गन है लेकिन
हां
off the timing for it. Just
अब अल्ट किया भाई ये
Molly sent flying into the
Sadak.
space available here, ready with the spam. Damage being done. Sadak barely alive, but does
1 HP है Sadak
still. What a spot to the side. Yeah, but not going to be clear potentially.
हां भाई दोनों के बीच में मार दिया देखो
Targets in opposition this time, storming into the site. It's going to be gained for them with that territory. Loud now reload. The Odin 2 players.
अल्ट करेगा क्या वाइपर अब तो नहीं करेगा
Really quite excellent peeking through it. So now Loud taking that lead 10-9.
एक जन के लेके
Talked about it, that danger zone for them, but this is how the comp operates, how it works.
And you can see the PaperX are trying to disrupt it. If that had been allowed, taking a main control at the start of the round instead of B main control, then they would have had an enormous clash in Gelato.
Yeah.
And who knows who would have come out on top. But PaperX kind of gambled incorrectly. They were going for the hard read. Loud do tend to favor the A site with the way that they call their attack sides. And just happened to be the wrong one. They were hoping that Mindfreak could hold stuff down on the B side of the map. And Les has got the read
Aimbot किया क्या
just inside his head. I think both of these teams struggled a little bit to be able to impose their will on the defense side. But what we saw from
पूरा समझा रहा है देखो ना
they actually found those rounds to be able to catch PaperX doing something. And
कुछ हुआ है बड़ी का गर्म आता है
the sides are flipped. PaperX
ऐसे नहीं ऐसे करो ऐसे
aggression instead of mid-round aggression, and I think that timing difference is
क्या खेला दिमाग ही नहीं
quite
तुम लोग
important.
सीधा बोल
It's easier to read when it's just straight.
तरीका लव यू
It is. I main Sova on Lotus.
I mean, honestly, there's worse
अरे
things.
टीम लिक्विड नहीं खेल रहा है ना
There are
खेल रहा
worse
है
things to play.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
Like League of Legends.
हार गया
हार गया टीम लिक्विड में ये स्क्रीन तो नहीं होगा
कमेंटेटर का हंस दिया हम बोले हार गए
He's I can hear cackling from the desk, man.
All right.
Elimination game.
PaperX are in a tough position here, though. They really are. It's about to spiral out of control. Forsaken's not really found opportunities to have his will imposed upon the game. And he snuck up to try to take fights.
ओ भाई साहब
सेव राउंड
Man.
भाई
सामने वाले को बोल देना चाहिए नहीं खेलेंगे ओ भाई दिया
So punished for that.
गया ये सब नहीं
Just make that kind of mistake.
ज्यादा ओवर
Flash over
कॉन्फिडेंस
the top. There was a bit of a team
नहीं जंप ही किया था भाई मार दिया उसको
for them. Now fighting towards market. Something dropped dead.
जंपिक वाले को भी पनिश कर दिया
गलत जंपिंग हो गया उससे
हाँ थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया
What the PaperX are being put into here is that the fact that Loud are just getting into these sites. Obviously, Gets a half by PRX, but they're not having to use ultimates doing it. They can save them now for when PRX have a bit of a buy round and money's back in sensible fashion.
PRX here. Again, the silver lining would be to apply enough pressure that the ults do get invested.
दे दिया उसको लो कर दिया तो
And PRX's game plan has broadly been... Hello, we'll see. No, there's no danger here. PRX's game plan has broadly been to try to stack one of the sites and
देखो ना
just
लाइन
kind
से
of
फिर
hope that
break
Loud go in there. And the problem with that is, if you gamble incorrectly, Loud have just got into a post-plan situation.
Yeah.
And not just that, PRX
उन लोग के पास ऑप्शन ही नहीं था
अब दोनों के पास गन है
they're playing it to still
ऑप्शन ही नहीं था सेफ था उन लोग का तो पुश करना ही था एनी हाउ
or here
हर
where
बार
Sens
लेके
trying to challenge B main alone for a cheeky kill. They're on the eco.
हाँ उधर के
But if you're gonna stack
हर
one
बार
side of the map
सेकंड
super
लेकिन
heavy,
मार दे रहा है ना
you're kind of
एक्सपेक्टेड
forced to play full retake on the other. And just relying on your
क्या
double
सही मारा लेकिन उसको वापस गलती किया लेकिन वो
enjoying himself out there.
हार
This is the
हाँ
round
वही
PRX absolutely must get back in control if they have any chance of winning a set.
पहला मैच को सीरियस नहीं ले रहा भाई सेंटिनल्स वाला काम कर रहे लोग
Here, I mean, the molly, they've got 10 for that one, but just a slap
अब पीक देगा पूरा
onto the orb. Paranoia, blind, nade, rebounds.
Ult आ गया
Clear out
फिर
a few of these players.
मारा
He is
अरे भाई
TP.
भाग गया भाग
But Loud are going for a lot
मोमेंट था
of
ना
re-clears, right? We haven't seen them go for big rotates around the map.
बात है
PRX
अल्टी यूज
realizes
करेगा
that.
भी
Three
लेकिन
hits coming through.
Here it is, rolling thunder. That will be a large
Divide
hit.
dodged it.
I did dodge it, but there's a one-way smoke into his face. At least
इतना जल्दी अल्ट आ गया
actified.
जा
Trying
उसको
to suspect
चटनी
this
से ही
time
गायब
out
कर
and through. Yes, the PRX players
हाँ अल्टा
still holding their ground, basically
Don't
rooted in place. And Les is now going to offload the pit to try and get them through.
देख रहे हो
Ball.
घुसने के लिए अल्ट किया
Planning to rotate and maybe split or go over to B. It's not that great for going into site, but it keeps a lot of players on site.
Using a nightfall. 2 tags. Here and out.
सब
Power
अल्ट
sent
कर
straight
दिया
through
चार
three, wondering if that's
अच्छा
what's
वो
gonna
लोग
happen.
रोटेट कर रहा है दो जन
Loud are happy to wait this
तीन
one
अल्ट
out, but
वेस्ट किया इस राउंड में
तीन रोटेट कर रहा है मिड से देख रहे हो
seems like
लोग को भी पता है कि
घुस गया
They've smoked for a B split though. So
या
for
मिड
Saken's
से ही
worried.
जाएगा पता है
he's had to watch and peel
हाँ
himself
मिड से
away.
ही जाएगा
Top of mid.
देखो ना घुस गया उधर से भी
Paranoia settling in. Divide inside the smoke. Wants to rule that position and take names away from them.
What?
Picked up. He's
ये
right behind
क्या
them. What is that?
क्या था भाई
Still, heads are falling and so are bodies. Toppling down. Time working against them now over the top and running around. Oh my god.
क्या किया था भाई वो
Important round though that PRX could have secured in that moment.
दवाई गया ना
That it was over towards A. They're starting to figure out how Sadak's calling the attack side. Do you remember earlier on in this game, PRX were throwing huge utility into A main and then rotating away, expecting Loud to pivot. Do not want to hit a heavy site. And because Sadak's been going for re-clears and
हल्का
re-hits
सा
so
उसको
often,
बैरल दिखा बस
PRX had stacked so heavily on that.
दिमाग खराब
That has got to be Alex's reaction.
ओ भाई
He had that one moment of despair and didn't follow up.
पता कर लिया देखे
Counter op something in B main. Something for whatever reason has got those tingles on the back of his neck. He knows it's not a great idea, but he's starting to creep a little closer.
Fuse has been spotted, tucked to the corner. Now it is Omen, he can reposition here, but sets him up onto the line nevertheless. But now he's going to back away and
पूरा पिक नहीं देता है बस
important to note.
जहाँ से वो लोग पिक देगा बस वो एंगल देखता है
Using 2 or 3 ultimate, something. Wall up in his face, contact plays, and he's out of there.
इतना पेशेंस किसी में नहीं है भाई
Forsaken, making sure the evacuation goes off without a hit.
देखा
Walking
उसका
straight into the line of sight. It's something who's sniping them away.
भाई
Precision
समथिंग मार रहा है यार
पीक दिया मिड में एक तो मार
wiping out the opposition.
खत्म 11-11
Awesome round. This is really
कहाँ घूम रहा है देखो ना
It's only Cowan seen left alone.
देख लिया
You know where he is.
ओ भाई
In a corner. He's going to have to duel 4 players to be able to get out of
अब तो गया
Till in the stun.
He's just stuck.
No chance. So
11 to 11.
the adjustments coming in handy.
Yeah, looking lovely.
क्या
PRX don't try and
मतलब
contest super early.
क्या ही बोले कॉम्बिनेशन ऐसा है ना स्टन किया
Into B
चटनी वाइपर का चटनी आया
go for that. And they just catch this timing. Something is always a couple of seconds ahead of
और क्या
If he was a second slower peak in market, he might have died to QCK. If he was a second slower peak in B main, probably dies to Tui's. It's all about those tiny, fine margins. No hesitation.
scratching their heads.
वाइपर की चटनी है, वाइपर की चटनी है,
That advantage now, less
बचना मुश्किल है.
damage off the rip. 61 health drop down.
Yeah, it's actually one of the first times that we've seen Les try to solo take this area, and he's immediately dropped.
Yeah, I mean,
He
a bit
fake
of
कर रहा है.
counterplay I think as well. Less usually
अकेले
trying to
लेस
build
फेक
from that
कर रहा है.
angle.
ये लोग मिड आ
Something
चुके
makes
हैं.
it feel like it's the same setup in this round, which broadly speaking it is, by taking that op shot into market. And now it's actually caused Loud to pivot away. They do not want any of that smoke.
Crack of an Devi turns away just at the right time.
एंगल देख रहा है.
Flash in his face, backs away now, holding the
ब्लाइंड हुआ निकल लिया उधर से.
ला के आना था इसके लिए.
kind of play, so he's going to be backing away to the site and gives up control of tree.
हम लोग रहेंगे तो स्प्रे करने लगे. ब्लाइंड हो गए तो स्प्रे करना शुरू कर देते हैं हम लोग.
It's going to be difficult.
Clear, just can't quite land the bullets. No way, this is overzealous potentially. Perhaps, maybe over aggressive, but they're not expecting it. They've sucked up that space right back away from them. Sadak, the sole survivor of a position into tree, lays down the nade, but
छोड़ा नहीं है भाई ये दवाई अभी तक.
flash now to repeat. Nice one, at least to try and cook up.
यार.
But PRX are on
ओह.
It's so reminiscent of their game against Carmine Corp. The late resurgence in the final rounds. It's looking
ब्रिज को कहाँ से बोला वो ब्लाइंड देने के लिए, देख रहा.
into overtime. Are they able to do the same here?
के उधर से एमएन से बोला ब्रिज को ब्लाइंड दो.
Game plans through mid
आराम से
have
डाल
been
दिया.
countered, but they were winning when they dominated one side of the map and went for the exec.
इतना काम हम लोग का नहीं रहता है. हम लोग एकदम कटा के मारना को.
Let's just try to play it himself with the ult and the
भाई खत्म.
The same plays working
ले
out
गया.
for PaperX.
खत्म.
It's like they just run back the highlights of the previous rounds.
That's just insanity.
Forsaken spamming, as far as I can tell, the exact same line, and this time, Les goes down and something's feasting.
भाई अकेले जीता रहा.
Little to no chance for Loud.
अरे समथिंग मार रहा है भाई गंदा.
ये लोग जो होल्ड किया है
Sealed
ना,
up
कोई
nice and
चांस.
pretty with a bow on top of it.
माइंड फ्रिक का एंगल देखो.
PaperX
Mind freak? भाई
right time, but
कड़ा खेल रहा है वो भी.
to the fire just running out for Loud as well with his
ये समथिंग का एंगल देखो अब.
struggling ever since they haven't been able to get those
अरे.
lines, but Wingman is about
मिस कर दिया.
quite connect Kawazin seeking to
चेंज करेगा पोजीशन वो पूरा.
time has to reload too on top of this, and already something is there.
कर लिया वो.
Following the sound cues, jiggling that bit, how the option at least, but right into the judge now Forsaken, trapped in the corner, but it matters not. It's a 1v5, it would have to be the play of 2 years' career to stand even a chance in hell. And for PaperX, a leisurely walk is what it feels like. Happy
Mind freak लेगा.
in the knowledge that they are just setting sail into the sunset, happy as anything. Map 1 entirely.
कड़ा जीता कड़ा. बहुत हार्ड.
A beautiful late resurgence from PaperX
बात है
there.
अब दूसरा वाला
Figuring
मैच
out
पेपर
how
है.
to deal with Loud's attack side at the perfect moment. And Loud, I think, straying away from what was working for them in previous rounds.
लाउड इसमें नहीं जीत पाया तब फिर अब दिक्कत कर देगा भाई पेपर एक्स.
Through mid, trying to get value out of the Viper wall and connecting so often with the judge or the, I mean, primarily the Odin and the Op.
पेपर एक्स के हाथ में आ गया अब.
आते अगर PRX पहुंचा ना तो
Sunset
Sentinel
on the cards. That is going to be a fantastic one. Two teams that are potentially evenly matched. It
सेंटिनल
doesn't
और वो
stop
दोनों के
anywhere
लिए
near
इजी हो
here.
जाएगा. पेपर एक्स को हरा देगा क्योंकि दिमाग ज्यादा नहीं लगाता ना, मतलब एम पे बहुत डिपेंडेंट.
सेंट्रल का भी कौन कौन सा मैच बाकी है? अगला खेलेगा तो हमको लगता है बाहर हो जाएगा ना.
जो ये दोनों में से जीतेगा वो
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Yes, problem. You need Verizon. Trade in that whole thing and get a new
अगला अगर हार गया तो बाहर जाएगा ना वो.
storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies.
हाँ अगला ये दोनों से जीतेगा उसके साथ मैच होगा.
Then it's panoramic.
जो जीतेगा
And
उससे वो
as many
फाइनल जाएगा.
portraits of me as
Hmm.
you
फाइनल में वो जो
ये तो अभी फाइनल जाएगा ना. अभी पेपर एक्स जीत गया तो फाइनल जाएगा.
In any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch SE.
नहीं
all on
फाइनल
us,
नहीं,
only
ये तो
on
लोअर
Verizon.
ब्रैकेट है.
और ब्रैकेट
तो ये एक अभी जो जीतेगा इसमें वो सेंटिनल के साथ खेलेगा.
अच्छा.
फाइनल ऊपर वाला था,
तो
पहला मैच था फाइनल.
मोस्टली अभी तक तो दिख रहा है पेपर एक्स ही जाएगा हमको लग रहा है.
दूसरा मैप तो टफ है लेकिन लाउड है भाई.
हाँ तो मैप है पेपर एक्स का.
Red Bull gives
gives you
पेपर एक्स का
wings.
पर लाउड है बदल नहीं सकते कुछ.
ये भी है. पेपर एक्स का क्या स्ट्रेट रहेगा इसमें?
रैट लोग को हमेशा एक ही रहता है, एम पे मारो.
एम तो सही है यार. उनको तो प्लेयर चेंज करेगा. माइंडफ्रिक तो इस बार नहीं, माइंडफ्रिक तो वो वाइपर ही खेलता है. माइंडफ्रिक तो वाइपर ही खेलेगा. ये समथिंग इस बार चेंज करेगा शायद. एजेंट चेंज करेगा वो अपना. या तो रेना लेगा या तो फिर जेट लेगा.
नहीं जेट लेगा. जेट जेट ही खेलता है इसमें.
जेट ही खेलेगा मोस्टली. तेज कोई नहीं लिया था ना पिछला राउंड. साइफर तो मिलेगा ही. वाइपर भी आएगा ही. फेड भी आएगा. फेड आएगा या फिर योरू आएगा पक्का.
फेड तो आएगा. फेड
हाँ फेड ही आएगा मोस्टली. फेड ही आएगा. ज्यादा सही है. दवाई का तो वही है, कंट्रोलर ही है. दवाई मोस्टली ओमेन ही खेलेगा मेरे ख्याल से. बट ब्रिम भी अच्छा है सेंसर में. ओमेन ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल है. तो 3 स्मोक्स का लगातार आ जाता है ना. 2 स्मोक करेगा फिर भी 1 स्मोक रह जाता है. आ ही जाता है फेड होते होते. ले अरे दो कंट्रोलर था ना पेपर एक्स में. एक तो माइंड फ्रिक खेल रहा था वाइपर. माइंड फ्रिक क्या खेल रहा था?
माइंड फ्रिक का भी ये खेलता है. माइंड फ्रिक का भी ये खेलता है. अरे वही तो. हाँ वो इसमें था लेकिन अब माइंड फ्रिक का ऑपरेटर ज्यादा खेलता है. मतलब सॉरी डुअलिस्ट हो गया माइंड फ्रिक.
तो वो अभी कौन सा खेल रहा था? अभी वाइपर खेल रहा था ना.
We just have to focus on ourselves this game, you know. I think
अभी वाइपर खेल रहा था इसमें.
Best run, you know.
लेकिन अब साइड डुअलिस्ट खेलेगा.
नहीं डुअलिस्ट नहीं खेलेगा. वो वाइपर ही खेलता है. वो
more aligned if anything.
डुअलिस्ट नहीं खेलेगा. या तो साइफर लेगा या तो फिर वही वापस वाइपर ही रखेगा.
Cover. You think when they're out of this one, when they don't have it anymore, they find the magic yet again, and they're up 1-0, Mimi, in this elimination game against a Loud team that I don't think a lot of people were giving Paper X the time of day against.
The thing is, even if you judge them by their contents, the context, it's changed a lot throughout this tournament. I think this team came in not looking in their best form, but they just displayed an incredible map against Loud here. Their executes were looking clean on the attacking side. Something's up was dominating on the defense. It was clear that with time, this team team is really starting to figure themselves out.
Totally है ये.
And on the side of Loud,
बोल नहीं पा
we
रही.
have a lot of experience with this composition. We still see some mistakes, like dry picking when you have a composition that has Phoenix, KO, and Breach. Cowan seen from the defense not finding a moment to even use his ultimate until like the penultimate round, and holding them and actually not using the composition to the full of its ability.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people watching this team regionally was kind of bringing up that some of the combos looked undercooked. I was one of those people, but at this point, it's so well put together, right? The timings they're playing with, using the Fade ult to deny noise, send that heavy presence towards A main, as Monette just picks the perfect timing.
अच्छा sorry, duelist वो मोनियट है, हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? हाँ, mind freak controller.
Yeah, I think that overall, the way that they were working the map, sometimes and at a certain point in their attack, it's a bit of an overcooked. You see that the map looks very different when you don't have a sentinel in both of the ways, and I also think it has to do a lot with the Viper play, right? Because we saw a lot of very different walls coming from both of the teams. I don't know if we will have the time to actually like dwell on what each one of them do, but I think that overall, this could have been an overtime perfectly.
One. I mean, you know what's one thing I really enjoy about PRX is that you think that they when they go for these wild plays, they look like they're geniuses. But when things don't go their way, you're questioning what they're cooking up here. One example of that, I mean, the guy was just lights out that whole map because he was just taking risks. He was getting in front of them and he was creating opportunities and creating space for his team with that on.
I've been a big hater of the Gecko off in the past, but I think the way that they played it, in particular on this defensive side, was really good. Loud as a comp that relies on getting extremity control with the double flashes and splitting into sites. Something is really good at finding timings around flashes, taking that split-second moment and getting a kill on an extremity. That was utterly shutting down Loud's execute in the first part of their attacking side.
I got a stat from Space, shout out from him. Something took 33% of first engagements and won 88% of them. That is crazy. Coming in from a Gecko. And by the way, now that we're going into Sunset, this is not Loud a duelist, okay? This is his Gecko when there is a duelist in the composition. Definitely, this is one of the other things that throws everybody so off of a paper.
Something अच्छा खेला यार.
Going to be in your face, which is going to be probably on your back.
दो का KD रखना इसमें. वो तो सही है.
The IGL du jour was for this team today because they really very
डिफेंडिंग में ऐसा पुश करके मार रहा था, क्या ही पता है.
I'm not a smart guy.
Actually, but they really varied up how they were going for that aggression. Early on, they were going for those extremity fights I was talking about. Then Loud figured it out. They varied it up and went for mid-round aggression instead. And then towards the end, very last round of the game, they go
defending Loud का.
Win it. It was a beautiful map from PRX. Another heartbreaking.
नहीं, PRX defending है, sorry.
Which now brings us to Sunset.
Exactly. We need to talk about Sunset, about obviously what happened yesterday. A Loud that was running out of time in a lot of instances, that was losing the plot, and how this PRX is going to be different, right? We're talking about a PRX that most likely will be playing with the Sage. Again, with no duelist on this map against a Phoenix. Definitely, I'm looking at the Gecko play. I'm looking at that kind of surprise that I think was off.
Attack or defend ये choose कौन करता है?
These teams have played this map, where we've seen both teams
go at this. टॉस जैसे मान लो जीता,
I was looking at map
चूज करेगा, ठीक है? जो
जो
टॉस जीता वो मैप चूज करेगा और उसका अपोजिट वाला अटैक या डिफेंस चूज करेगा.
They beat Genji in the Pacific Kickoff. This is doable for PRX at a 2-0.
जो मैप चूज करेगा
I really like the
उसका
way,
अपोजिट वाला
especially
अटैक या
these two
डिफेंस
teams
करेगा.
comps are going to compare.
तो Loud अटैक लिया क्यों भाई? Loud को डिफेंड लेना चाहिए था ना.
Really heavy extremity control on their defense, getting QC.
देखा माइंड फ्लिक लिया ना. माइंड फ्लिक लिया ना वाइपर. वाइपर ही खेल रहा है. अरे भाई समथिंग चेंज नहीं किया अपना. दवाई सेज लिया इस बार. मोनियट ओमेन ले लिया.
But it is not the same. A Sunset with no cipher, but both Vipers on both the sides. I'm looking at the Vi and how he's going to be using those walls.
दो कंट्रोलर रख रहा है भाई.
How Loud is going to read onto those.
No matter who's on the team around him, Sadok's Loud.
मोस्टली सबका यही गेम प्लान रहता है, दो कंट्रोलर रखना.
They lost to PRX at Champions. They have a chance to make up for it here if they can push us to a third map.
जितना होल्ड कर सको उतना होल्ड करना है. स्पेस बनाने के लिए भी बहुत सही है कंट्रोलर.
क्योंकि डिफेंस में ज्यादा चांस होता है.
अटैक में भी चांस रहता है, ऐसा नहीं है. स्पेस तो बनाएगा ना यार. वो इतना सारा स्मोक है, ये वो है. स्पेस बना देगा पूरा ना.
PRX coming out with some surprising form, surprising improvements, against all regular expectations, I will say. And now we set our sights onto Sunset, the second map here of this series. Should be relatively even. Both of these teams, they like to play this map. They're quite good at it in their own way and form.
I love the way the PRX approach this. We're going to see him immediately take some mid-control. The clashing tiles.
Yeah, they're just trying to fight them. They're watching for
भाई
Tui's. I think he got a kill out there with the ghost.
पनिश कर दिया.
Now they can expect Mindfreak, who's worked his way in. He's thinking twice about it now. Backs himself into Mind. What a beginning. I mean, the smoke deep down, not expecting that tile's aggression there. That just comes down to a game of chance.
Yeah. PRX are so happy to opt into the variance that is ever present in this game. I hope that
भाई देखिए कहाँ से फेंका वो? One way किया है.
But as you say, just had no idea that Loud were going to run a pistol, which also involved them charging towards mid through tiles.
They want to take the fight straight to it. A few more of these ults, less onto the corner.
It's a good idea for QCK to try to push through that, see if he could find the kill. Yeah. It's going to be his ult that they try to build up early, but that's not exactly the way the cookie crumbled to open things up. It's actually very close.
गलत किया स्टार्टिंग में गलत किया भाई होल्ड करना था जब तो
See how that opened up. I mean, yeah, they're just using that deep smoke to hide the potential deep dart.
तीन आदमी मिस कर दिया भाई.
Just above the sign of market.
Yeah. It's a specific
3 प्लेयर गायब हो गया ना उधर ही.
इतना गेम खेल लिया एक मैं.
Now PRX stacking towards the A side.
Smoking mid in the exact same fashion, hoping that somebody sees it. Just a call, like there could be that presence into mid.
Les completely alone here. He's going and now PRX are going to understand that this was fake pressure early on over towards A. So Salek's got to accelerate. They've got to get into the B side.
जैसे देखता है कि फाइट हो रहा है बस पुश कर देता है. पीक ले लेता है. ऐसे पीक नहीं लेता.
It's going to slow them down slightly.
That's why they're clearing it. Due diligence. Showcase drone through as well, making sure they're into the back of the site.
Blind आएगा भी.
Players though, deep flash. Along with that,
दो blind, 3 blind.
Everybody collided and collected into that deep corner here, but it's
4 blind.
to really nail it.
भाई साहब.
Was fantastic, and maybe more so. One player to stand. It's 2 years.
Blind पे blind आ रहा है यार.
Onto the spike, it's turned just like that. Wall.
अब क्या?
Broken here, but a reload for 2 years now, and he's so loaded. It just feels like he can't get the spam bullets on, spraying through. Just needs one to really hit and connect. It's not happening.
No.
It's a massacre, Thrifty.
And Devi even cleaning up 2Es at the end. He can't recover the rifle. But what a round for PRX.
Save round था भाई PRX का.
Immediately in round 2 showing you some of the power that PRX have on defense. And it comes down to the fact that their comp is so good for flood defending into B. That flood defending back B is one of the most successful ways
दवाई तो से हील करके मारा है.
when you have flash
लो था वो.
to get into backside. And then sage walls to block stuff off and smokes additionally too. Like going to find it difficult in post-plant situations.
Nice, 4 spotted here.
We round जीतना ही होगा Loud.
नहीं जीतता है.
What danger is there in this round? Maybe if 2 years are able to just flip the back ahead of Devi.
अरे चला बहुत heavy खेल गया था अभी.
2Es is fast to get into position to make the play.
Wall सब देख रहा है वाइपर का.
Something looking to reclear.
Yeah, good level of awareness.
And Forsaken also with pretty decent awareness on the other side, even though that one-way missed.
Yeah, into this corner, he's really
अरे.
They've overwhelmed them. Doesn't matter about the superior.
गया. दो तो गया.
दो rifle. Well, a little bit strangling the beast that is their rifles. Aftershock can't be walking too far into this one. Dodging of the flash. Dizzy up into the air. Basat, he's taking a fight straight to them, and now frustration really showing. Dodging at the timing. No, just revealed.
रिवील हो गया भाई वो. 1 सेकंड के लिए बस रिवील हो गया भाई.
I mean, we're coming off the back of the Sens Gen G game where we just had Thrifties over and over and over too.
हम लोग में रिवील हो रहा है बंदा कोई मारेगा ही नहीं.
He was Forsaken stuck in the corner. Monyet's above him. He can walk backwards whilst keeping his crosshair focused towards A link. They could have set up a double.
आधा सेकंड पहले पहुंचता ना वो स्मोक के अंदर बच जाता.
himself in a corner looking to try to take the fight. I assumed he was just going to.
बट फिर भी बच के क्या ही करता. भाई देखा हिंदी में लिखा हुआ था उसका हाथ में.
ये आईजीएल है सदा.
finding them the
हाँ
second round there.
दिक्कत है
and getting
हाँ
things
वही
back
ओम
on
नमः
track.
अरे
Is
हम
that
ये देखे
Sens
थे भाई
trying
कल
to
भी हम
deny?
पूछने वाले थे
Oh,
शायद
I'm
इंडियन ओरिजिन है इसका
नहीं नहीं इंडियन ओरिजिन नहीं है मानता होगा बहुत
हाँ
बहुत को हिंदुइज्म फॉलो करते हैं
Ground and another kill. You
हाँ
cannot be doing this to me now. I'm telling you, the MasterCard representatives will be very happy, but
भाई
exactly the most picture perfect
सुप्रीम
Valorant
कोर्ट
we've
पे
ever seen
हिंदुइज्म
here.
नहीं है
Wingman alerting the presence, at least to know now
पड़ा
a few
नहीं
loud
पड़ा
players are here. Spike still dropped down, but it's coordinated off, and they've obtained those rifles, and they're using them to great success. Now, having to really just
मरेगा
force their way through. They've gathered the spike
भाग
out, but listen,
अरे
this man through one left to stand. Sadak
देखो ना स्प्रे
can
कर
overcome
दिया
it.
फुट सुन के स्प्रे कर दिया भाई
To back Thrifties.
पूरा पुश करके खेल रहा है भाई
This is so similar to Split with Sen Genji.
अभी यही लोग का पिस्टल राउंड है तो जीत जाता लाउड पता नहीं लोग कैसे खेलते
The aggression coming out, very similar to the pistol round.
पिस्टल राउंड में ही सब जीत रहा है भाई
I think from their perspective, just for a moment here, they're in an elimination game.
अब पिस्टल से ही खेलेगा क्या ये लोग
गन वाला
Against a
राउंड हार
difficult
जाता
opponent. They've only matched up against once, and they lost that time.
पिस्टल से ही खेलेगा क्या
It's a mountain
क्या?
for them to try to
वेंडल वेंडल छोड़ दो भाई नहीं होगा तुम लोग से
दोनों के पास गन
throw
होगा
it away,
हाँ
you win it back.
नहीं नहीं अभी भी
भाई दोनों
Disappears out of your hands.
इन लोग के पास नहीं है ना दो वेंडल है बस
Relation to disappointment back again here.
एक स्टिंगर दो शेरिफ
True roller coaster of emotion.
लाउड के पास
Kawanzin's trying to get Tiles to use this fault line that goes sideways and covers both sides.
Yeah.
And they
अरे
use it.
उसको बचाने के लिए
So once again,
खुद का जान दे दिया
the team with worse
हाँ
utilities
फ्लैश
winning it
किया वो
out.
उसको बचाने के लिए फ्लैश किया और मर गया देखो ना
Worse
सब
utility.
वही ना वो
भाई
Words, I meant worse weaponry. The utility was fantastic. But that's Kawanzin trying to get that deep
चला
Tiles
जाएगा।
position. And this
पिस्टल नहीं है ये लोग
PRX punishing
हाफ बाइक किया पता नहीं क्या क्या स्टेट लगाया है लोग
Team of playing over various different areas of map control and a little bit of gambling of where PRX want to fight.
ओ
भाई पर आवाज सुन लिया
क्यूसीके को अपना गन दे दिया
All the areas are cleared.
ताकि वो अल्ट करे
Side Kawazin dart into a
अरे छोड़ दिया
position. An attempt of a timing by Mindfreak is immediately punished. 2 left to stand, 2 left to fight. PRX. What have they got in them?
ओ
Really face there, and he's going to get beamed down straight through.
इतना वाइड नहीं देना
वहाँ पे
चाहिए था
स्टन किया उसको पता है कि स्टन से बच के कहाँ जा सकता है वो एक ही
Into it.
हाँ हाँ
वही वहीं पर होल्ड कर
The
रहा
thing is, their
था
economy is still in a good spot because
दिमाग लगा के
we've
खेलता
just
है
been sent through the tombola machine. You never know what's coming out.
Tombola machine.
Getting shaken up
तो
and
नहीं
down.
देगा इतना इजीली
Backside position though, quickly, Divide is going to be swarmed from this position. Ollie
मारता है
वो
तो
गया गया
down, nailed shot, man. I mean, so much precision
I'm not
there.
saying it again,
You're not
Brendan.
saying it again.
पिस्टल राउंड जीत गया
I mean, I'll do it. I'll activate the
पिस्टल
spot.
पिस्टल नहीं था दो वेंडल था बस दो वेंडल से जीत गया
पड़ेगा
Position though.
हाँ दो तो लेकिन मारा पिस्तले से
हाँ ये तो है
So you need
देखो ना ये
पिस्टल
स्टिंगर से मारा
पिस्टल और स्टिंगर और
supposed to really
एक और
have
पिस्टल
access to these big ultimates
और शेरिफ मतलब
as the economy starts going for your opponent. But PRX are one away from being
दो शेरिफ किल्स था
not that
एक स्टिंगर किल
and now Lauda pretty close to some big ults.
अब बाकी वेंडल का पड़ा
Positioning. And he sends an early fault line up towards A and is trying to take space off the back of this recon. But look, he is quite exposed.
पुश
in
कर दिया ना
mid
बी
here, and he's trying to take
नहीं
his stars
होल्ड
position.
किया
The second
हुआ लग रहा है पुश करेगा समथिंग
clear over towards A. If indeed you had somebody like Forsaken.
एंगल होल्ड किया हुआ ही है भाई
छोड़ दिया ऑपरेटर का होल्ड
नहीं नहीं पकड़ा हुआ है तो
नहीं नहीं
Slow
छोड़
and
दिया
steady though.
देखो ना पकड़ा हुआ नहीं वो समथिंग पकड़ा हुआ है वो तो छोड़ दिया लाउड छोड़ दिया
To invest the drone.
अब तो ये पे आ गया
समथिंग ऑपरेटर थोड़ी लिया हाँ ये छोड़ दिया
नहीं मतलब ऑपरेटर को होल्ड करके रखा था ना
हाँ लिया लिया
If you
लिया
break it, you give away that there was serious pressure behind
They're
that.
pinging up onto the top of it. I mean, Divide loves to play on top of this here. Great flash. Taken, rattles off a few bullets, lets them know his presence. Knife's going to be sent into the opposite direction there with 2 tags. They seek to try and make a go of this one here. Pop Flash plays the Hunter's Fury at his back to set it up. And then we're anti-flash position. Okay, so Loud.
और सेकंड को जो दिया है
जला भी दिया उसको
Salves now into this site. Will they choose to use any more ultimates? A bit of random spray once more by Divide.
गया
स्मोक किया फिर उधर नहीं देख रहा दूसरे साइड देख रहा देख रहे हो
Chip damage, but nothing really more to show for it. And here it is.
Players blinded.
There, big one with the dizzy on top of it. Rolling Thunder now has to be committed thrash. Slow to a crawl. Les is a monster in this spot. This particular position and any attempt here, they just want to barrel over.
क्या मारा भाई ब्रिज क्या
अरे
मारा
मार दिया देखो ना
No
घुस के
chance here on the retake. Not with the operator now, so he has to just run tail between his legs.
जबकि ये पहले देखा था दवाई पहले देखा था नहीं दवाई नहीं कौन था ओमेन कौन है मोनियट 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 पहले देखा था लेकिन
अरे साला तुम सुना कमेंटेटर
क्या बोला
But they took the gamble safe to the running tail between his legs. Just say
now Kawanzine.
Oh bhai. Oi.
Kawanzine dying to spike there. Don't ask me.
दो जन हमेशा साथ रहेगा ही रहेगा.
But that's a great punish onto Forsaken. Unless choosing to try to take the aggressive option, not caught by any of that retake utility. It was perfect. Lesson Kawanzine stepping up for Loud.
Red Bull पे लिया.
Timeout being taken here for PRX. The trouble is, how do you get a grip in terms of what is replicatable? Because the rounds you're winning have been seemingly down to just hitting a few straight shots, going for the mid-aggression.
Well, you can clearly see that they have an anti-strat prep with regards to Monyak's smoke to try to deny info for Sadak's recon, right? So maybe you try to lean into that a little more and put pressure onto Tiles. That was clearly their game plan coming in, and just because you lost the pistol round doesn't mean that you're always going to lose a fight happening there. But I think the other part of it too is that they just allowed, because of the craziness of how this map began, allowed to start getting some big ults online. And to be honest, in my opinion, that was the biggest problem there. If PRX had been able to run that same retake scenario without the breach, I really think they're failing.
Looked like it.
And it is so important in moments like this to not overcorrect. If you have the right ideas and they're just not working, you might still want to stick to them. Like I was talking about earlier, PRX do have a lot of variance in the way that they play. When you have two teams like this that are so down to just opt into fighting against each other, it is going to vary. Form is going to play an enormous factor.
I feel like just a coin flip at times here. We could buy 4 PRX. We'll see if it makes a difference. Freak is sole recipient of the rifle. He's going to be holding down a
वाला जितना ability है ना सब पहले use कर देता क्या कि पता है 30 सेकंड के बाद आ जाएगा.
It's going to be
किसका?
given up. Acknowledgement there with the dizzy going down, so they know that there's players lurking around slow default play, which
मतलब कौन से इसका player का?
ये मतलब बटन ही वाला. Primary ability.
Go for any DPs over towards mid. Barely going into B main until now spot the shot.
कैसे देख लिया भाई वो?
अरे देख रहा है उस वही कैसे देख लिया हमको नहीं दिखा.
Free position. Always trying to tuck himself up onto the box here. Are they even going to be aware of it through slow orb at their feet?
Left देख मारा.
बच गया.
It's not patience. Played to perfection here by Mind Freak. Might be looking for a few more still. He's dropped down to 2 of them. Divide has gun of his own now, ready for the spray through, ready for the spray down, revealed. Tucks to the corner, sidearm out and wide, but less. Put him to rest here, dodging to the flash, but he's got a lot to overcome now. Positioning flipped around, weaponry handed over.
No, इधर. Alt करो.
Honed and ready.
दिख गया. Oh.
The spike is on Less's side, but he's going to have no opportunity to really get a free plan off here.
नहीं बचेगा. मरेगा.
Running through it, yeah.
देखो.
Yeah, and there it is. Round 1, they know it. Tucked to the corner.
भाई गया.
Recognizing the win conditions. Guess what? Another massacre, Thrifty.
Yeah, and also an egg.
हे भाई something होगा.
Just to cap off how
Ace ले गया भाई वो.
Crazy this game has been.
Ace मिला नहीं but
We have another
ले गया.
round powered by Mindfree being able to get a cute play in this corner and Kawanzine not really able to clear it.
क्या मारा है भाई क्या मारा.
Unless does what he can, but it's just it's not enough.
कैसे वो एंगल क्लियर नहीं किया भाई लेकिन कैसे?
Taking the risk,
सही में.
playing for that variance, and it pays off for Mindfree. Now Loud change up the pace.
देख दिया.
Oh my goodness, it's PRX taking a fight straight to them. Yeah, Loud opted into that pace increase. They wanted to
भाई इतना खुले में स्मोक कर रहा है.
punish one-way smoke as well. This is just sharpness on display.
That's wild. That
टीम पे ऐसा भरोसा भाई खुले में स्मोक कर रहा है.
Start these rounds off, focused on aim and control, but not that fast. Forsaken almost caught a timing.
अरे गन रख.
With the gun, yeah, sticking wide and out. Tap with the AD. survives the duel and encounter, has the spike in his hands, but he'd have to do a lot more than that to make this winnable, especially when he's on 8 HP.
And I'm not exactly sure what the read was there for Sadak in this round, but PaperX have been fighting with 2 or 3 players every single time over towards A main. I think you've got to start trying to take space somewhere else on the map. You can go back and late re-clear with the fault line or the drone. But I think trying to just run in and take that fight straight up is going to be so difficult. There are so many tools, though, that PaperX have at their disposal with this no duelist composition. If you ignore A main completely, sometimes Divide might just wall it off. And then they can just ignore it. I mean, what are the chances that both teams just decide to fight A main that fast? The flash connections were so perfect. PaperX fight through all of the smoke utility to get the kills.
Yeah, not just the flash connections, I mean the shots on
No, अचानक से ये स्टैट लगाता है भाई, कि मतलब ऐसा नहीं हर राउंड होल्ड कर रहा है, अचानक से स्टैट लगाया कि नहीं पुश करके मरना है.
I felt like from what we had seen over the course of the rest of this tournament, Loud had more players stepping up with their individual form.
पीछे नहीं हटना.
He's just consistent. He's always a monstrous player. But I feel like QCK
टाइम आउट लिया ना Loud.
He's been playing better than expected too, and Kawanzi's been like putting in some solid work at times. When I was looking at the other side of things, PaperX, it was only really Forsaken that was blowing me away. Something had some big moments, but wasn't always there. Today, he's been on fire. If you want to look at one individual that turned the tide of Ascent, it would be something with the operator in his hand. And you've also been getting better and better performances from Monyet as he spends more time with pressure on him on the stage.
Something that Alex has been alluding to as well in these interviews, but just that stage experience being so valuable for a team like PaperX, who's been making these adjustments, trying to find that identity, I think. But listen, if it's form that carried them to this point right now, the ideas and time are kind of flourishing, honestly. They've got good reads, they've got good adaptations, counter strats,
Loud.
prepped and planned, making it so damn hard
Push करेगा लगता
to
है.
try and deal with.
Again, PaperX start 3 players ready to fight over A. And Loud go for the exact same default setup again. You know, Sova, Viper over towards A, Kawanzi in tiles. Ready for any kind of aggression, sure, but not actually taking aggressive map control in B main or market, anything like that.
Oh, देखो ना मार्क कर दिया कि ये वो है.
Doubled up in the high low, but no catch.
पूरा डबल शोल्डर पिक कर रहा है भाई.
He's making a mess of it. Kawazu puts him to rest.
Yeah, the Mosh got a kill and Sens just sticking the orb right in the middle of all of these guys' faces.
अब दिया.
Oh no!
Wait!
What's going on?
That's wild. Just hoping that he would find another player.
अरे भाई 2 आदमी लगे.
Something gets the response, and it's all left to 2Es, who, of course, is not in A main where the fight is happening.
No, he wouldn't be. He'd be on the
2 बंदा ले गया भाई वो.
He certainly is, without the Omen ult to be able to make the play happen. Thrash hunting him out.
1v2 TVs
Blood
by
in the water, but can't quite
ult भी नहीं है इसका.
Misdirection might be working to the
30
favor
seconds
of
left.
2 years now. Time pressure will work against him. Spike has dropped down into no man's land.
If something gives him a free kill, though, this is winnable.
That's how the clutch really begins, but he was just aiming in the wrong location. 4 kills in the round for something.
This round, Loud did actually try to... It wasn't early round market control, but QCK started walking into mid after they realized PaperX weren't fighting. And then was looking to prod towards that area of the map.
Yeah.
But there was no smoke up towards top mid, not enough players in mid to dominate those sight lines. And so there's a kerfuffle that happens over there that PaperX come out, I guess, to the good. And Sadak's trying to make it fake like it's happening over towards A, and the PaperX players just peek. The more mess that's involved here, the more I think you start playing towards PaperX's strengths.
Fast play again. Deep molly, deep dart, flash into the corner. Monyet's here with the judge. No clearance. No clearance. It's starting to get sloppy. It's starting to get sloppy indeed. And guess what? Exactly where a team like PaperX thrives. Pound for pound, his team were born and bred in the game. And they're showcasing exactly why you can never
अरे एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते हैं ना, अचानक से वो लोग मारना शुरू कर देता है.
Walks straight into it. 2 years again, brought into essentially an unwinnable scenario.
Another round, another Loud player in a 1vx, complete
fake लेके B plant करेगा.
And PaperX are coming out here. They're really not adjusting their defensive setup too much. It's the Loud cannot come up with the answers. We've we've now seen 4 rounds in a row, roughly following the same kind of trend, where Loud want to take control of A and push PaperX back, and they can't figure out how. The judge, the paranoia, the swings from both sides, just getting pulled into the maw of PaperX.
I saw smiles on the faces of the PaperX players. Of course it would be.
Yeah, not the coach.
Never, Alex. It's scary when he smiles, actually. You don't expect it.
This is the first time PaperX decide not to fight over towards A, so we might see a very different round here. Loud are actually being given this space. PaperX anticipating that they would change it up. Surely they don't go A main again after we've just been beating them.
Loud not to be deterred, though. One away from the ultimates. Sonic builds up his. Deep drone that wasn't used to clear elbow, so they can start to use that now towards the site. Munyet, his position is vulnerable here. It's a pop flash play to set him up with a bit of supportive utility. He wants to disengage now with a smoke dropped down. No command, feeling the heat, feeling the pressure.
That's a weird one, actually, because it looks like they're playing for retake, but they've popped the null command. And Loud think that they're anchoring the site, so they haven't committed. This is a strange standoff.
Line in the sand has been drawn. Deep TP into mid here, 2 years. I believe just sticking that one, so he's given himself a deep position to mid. Probably won't matter too much. Munyet might be eager though for a challenge here. How's your reaction time? Sun flashes on flashes. Paranoia to meet their match. And a deep dart as well that's not going to be accounted for. Hunter's Fury though tucks into it, gets the connection, gets the collision course straight into these players. And Munyet does a decent job of just avoiding it. Dodging, ducking, weaving, but not enough there. And a replay or something has something to say. On a reload online, shock darts though, jumping around the punish. Now wide and open. Ready for the take.
Even when Loud are given control of elbow.
गंदा पुश किया भाई वो लोग ऐसा पुश नहीं करना था.
This is 5 rounds in a row now. After a very back and forth beginning, when no team could really get a handle on the economy, everything that Loud tries, bearing in mind that this was a lower eco buy as well, but it's all just been getting crushed. Loud are going to change things up. And this time their defensive
Loud को कौन वोट कर रहा है यार?
Slightly different. PaperX have already anticipated it though. Tiles flash
for
mid.
One is here already. Forwards in the approach. And he is that util. Run it back. Dealt with. And dropped immediately. Tumbling before our very eyes here. The deep hit into B main.
It is a great read though from Les. He realizes that if they're fighting over mid, they can't be doing their normal A setup. So he takes this timing into elbow. There is a chance that a bullet could find the back of something's head here.
Will be falling. Flatlined to the side, and a side gains now for Les. Going to be calling for the rotate and the pivot. Smokes.
He could drop a pit.
Falling down, he certainly could, and really turn this into more than a winnable spot with 2 years. In that late lurk player dropping.
Guys, please hold. Whole win.
2v3 here. Loud have massive advantage here with the pit with the rolling thunder. Really just letting it loose and letting it rip here. Sky high. That's the Vi.
Loud.
Forwards and won't be able to withstand any sort of pressure there.
Loud को support कर रहा है क्या?
Mindfreak's been good at catching 2Es in all of these previous rounds, but finally 2Es.
Loud को support कर रहा है क्या तुम?
Loud with 5.
PRX जाएगा तो
Questions in my head about whether or not that's going to be enough.
Who knows?
There was a serious streak there of dominance from PaperX.
PRX जाएगा तो बोले तो final तो मैं मजा
like
नहीं
the way
आएगा.
that PaperX play their attack too. I think both of these
क्या
teams
नहीं मजा आएगा?
Sunset. Still anybody's game, but Loud the team under the most.
बात है लोग को हरा देगा वो लोग.
They're already one map behind. It's going to have to be that comeback, starting at the pistol round in that second half.
Sentinel हरा
जाएगा तो confirm नहीं है कोई भी
did
जीत
here
सकता है.
from Forsaken, just heading into the series.
Sentinel हरा
Hi guys, I'm Jason, aka Forsaken, and I play for team PRX. Against Genji, we lost, but I don't feel anything and I don't have any regrets. I mean, I can tell that we're gonna lose because I mean they play well.
Forsaken को हाँ जी आता है.
We just want to go lower bracket, you know, because I know that they're good.
तो स्ट्रीम भी करता है कभी-कभी YouTube पे.
We have like shaky map, shaky roster.
एक बार तो किया था.
Doing as great as last time, so I didn't like regret.
Twitch पे तो हमेशा करता है.
Twitch पे तो करनी है, any time करता है.
Done some damage and there's a follow-up. A shot right to Texture's temple. That's going to put us in a 4v2 with PaperX definitely favored to take this pistol now. Forsaken fallen. A little bit more of a chance. Something though delivers. Okay, he's up top and not spotted.
किया भी अच्छा खेल.
If we meet Loud, I mean, I'm just gonna go all in, and I hope you guys enjoy our
Something to the-
gaming, you know. Actually, I feel like we shouldn't have been in the playoff. We should have been like lost.
वहीं तो
Like
जीता रहा भाई.
against TH or
vote डालो chats में.
like lucky, I would say last time, but you know, like I said, when we go our bracket and every time we already played the match, finished the match, no matter
Guys,
what
please
we
vote.
will like improve very fast. And fully in our bracket, we will show you guys on our improvement.
Like, subscribe and share
Vote करो
my
vote
stream.
करो, guys.
Yeah, Forsaken just handling, you know, that pressure like water off a duck's back, coming into this entire tournament, just with the lowest of expectations, and now they're just improving at a meteoric pace, looking to really
Like
take
करो,
the
share करो,
team
subscribe
have the
करो.
lead here at the half of a decider map.
Yeah, I
भाई
think
कोई
that one of the big problems for PaperX is that their previous players
Loud को support कर रहा है कोई.
of all just having the same understanding of what was
तुम
going on.
डाले क्या poll में?
Now that you try to force that kind of thing and worry about the fact that you're outside of it,
Hmm?
the worse it gets. But just getting absorbed into this tournament seems to have brought
हाँ
back some of
पोल
that
में हम
synergy.
डाले. Loud. बोले तो
The
loud
single-mindedness
100%
that
है.
we see from them, the hive
ना.
of PaperX.
That's what made them deadly.
And the
PRX
pistol
ले
rounds,
जाएगा. यही round ले जाएगा देखना ना.
I hesitate to say important because they did flip-flop a lot at the beginning of this map.
ले गया
But they
पेपर.
could be decisive. Everybody on PaperX grouped up to try to punish 2Es.
Disrespecting for that one here. 2 years backs away with the TP. Off angle approach now with the paranoia sent flying onto the left hand side. 2 years. So not accounted for. QCK just trying to back him up as well as bail him out. And they are just collecting all sorts of kills, but the damage done.
अच्छा उधर से pick क्यों नहीं दिया?
The kill onto Divide.
Too far forward and not
Let's
playing
do
great angles. Pushing themselves into spots where they couldn't quite get it. Overextending to deal with Divide. Sadak shocks himself on the corner but does pick up the kill.
मारा भाई. दिया.
Okay, there eventually with a reset.
तब तक
क्या साला हक दिया.
1v3.
मरेगा यहाँ रहेगा तो मरेगा.
He's done damage, but he can't get through this wall. It's so powerful on the pistol. On both sides.
Right there.
For the retake.
Right there.
To block off angles in the post. It's such a nice addition to the KO Gecko comp that a lot of teams have been looking at.
Look at this, too much to
क्या
clear.
timing रहता है लेकिन मतलब.
Man in his face, follow through with the bullets. No kill collected, but he does have too much to do. Already the time's getting away from him. Look at
अब
PaperX.
loud हार गया.
Stanced up, holding their ground, swinging off the contact, and that's pistol round 1 out for.
नहीं अभी भी chance है ऐसा नहीं है.
Said, you know, we've been talking about the details of the importance of it despite the initial start.
3 round ही तो आगे.
Really, it sets them up beautifully.
Look, the slow up there. Divide is used as bait. And they really do bait Loud into taking bad fights in that situation. All of this was set
3 round से कुछ decide नहीं कर सकते यार.
with the Dizzy. I know that people have been looking at the something POV and talking about how he doesn't, you know, recycle the Gecko utility as much, that kind of thing. But they are really good at being able to combo those together to apply a lot of pressure to their opponents. And frankly, PaperX move fast enough that sometimes you would
क्या
second round of Gecko util. Les takes an opportunity to try to
क्यों
get
भाई
massive
क्यों
double in on the
क्यों?
field. PaperX would not have everybody stacked in.
Zone
ये
presents
क्या हुआ?
itself for a team like Loud as well, because yeah, you've lost a pistol round. But PaperX on our attack side again, very ult generation heavy. Something now one away from the Thrash to be used into the bonus round into the next. Assuming Loud can't do too much more damage here on their retake.
On the flash peek into backside as well.
Whoa!
पे लेस दिया बर्बाद करके push
Still
करके.
got that wall, but 2E's on the flank.
Yeah, Peppered here, holding the util.
हाय हक दिया.
Close. A decent opportunity actually to turn that away. Send us down the spiraling path of thrifty after
Easy kill था भाई. ओमेन को तो मार ही सकता था मन्यत को.
Building up something's ultimate here is really devastating for Loud. Difficult to deal with. And I think the addition of the Sage Wall just makes so many of these post plants a little easier to play. This is a map where we've seen a lot
देख रहे हो something को.
of really solid retake setups, where the amount of utility coming in just ends up being overwhelming. But if you force the retakers down a certain path dictated by that Sage Wall, things get a little easier for PaperX.
Just throw a wrench into the plans of a lot of teams. I mean, Sage is so unorthodox on this map. Early Thrash. Used to set up here, out towards A.
But a fake in terms of where the pressure's actually coming
Feels like
from.
it. Yeah, I mean, he did have the spike on him, but the rest of his team now working into mid. Pop flash, wall up. Hearing all this noise, hearing all these sounds, but you can't survive it past the box. A call is made though. Loud want to commit into this fight. I'm going to commit heavily wide. Miscommunication, perhaps. There's something Drops down as well, forced into the spectator's seat with the spike drop down. It's a favored situation for Loud now.
ये राउंड पे PRX को नहीं मिलेगा अब.
Very difficult to retrieve. If Monia gets another smoke online, which he does, he just sneaks in.
लेके गया भाई.
And now all of Loud are in a pretty rough spot. They don't have any map control or information. Could be worried about some lurking happening here. So just like that.
PV4 है ना. Monet तो low है बहुत. Feel नहीं है क्या इस पे? आने वाला.
Expect the spam to be coming through as soon as the smoke gets deployed.
It wasn't there though, and now, because Loud was so heavily stacked up around that spike position, as you were saying, they've lost all map control.
Yeah.
They're having to triple up and
Okay,
reclaim together just in case.
And they're slow to do it as well. What you see from PRX is that after throwing that A utility, they were immediately up mid. And I was praising Sadak in the games that I've been recently watching from Sunset. He's very aware of those mid lurk timings, but PRX are faster than Loud are anticipating.
इतना ही स्मोक कर रहा है कि मतलब प्लांट कर ले बस.
With individuals finding timings ahead of when they were going to be expected. And look at the map here, how far away the nearest Loud player is. PRX have got tons of time to try to reposition a spot where they can upend the player disadvantage.
Miles away. PRX seeking to try and fight them deep into these angles. Now Loud already for it with those protocols. Moniette left alone to his devices. Only the Spectre in his hands. It would have to be a miracle. It would have to be mistakes to be made.
अरे ले सकता था इसको भी.
Heals as well to really collect up that kill and get that trade online. So that was a bonus round for PRX. The two players surviving for Loud, they might even consider that a bit of a success.
Yeah, I think I would. PRX is in a really nice spot. And not just that, they did find a timing through mid. So anytime one of these timing-based macro plays works,
अब दिक्कत कर दिया.
Another layer of confusion in Sadak's calling.
Yeah.
Because with a composition like this, you have to be mobile to plug the gaps. And if you're slower than your opponents, you're going to leave those gaps open.
Let's go Loud.
He is picking up the attack side operator here on Gecko. His opping was sublime on Ascent, one of the big reasons that Loud are now one map away from elimination.
Massive round for Loud. Have to really lock this one up. Pretty heavy with the economical investment across the board from Loud. Players with a bit of money to spare, all picked up as well. So Forsaken just doing his darndest to try and build up towards that big ultimate.
And a very slow beginning to the round from PRX. Loud choosing to try to fight A main there. Recommitting to the angle.
PRX का इको है ना? नहीं, half by है देखो. दो जन का बस इको है. इको भी नहीं है वो लोग का. Still तो है.
नहीं, 4 लोग तो खरीदा ही है.
Going to be landing into market, wall through, broken immediately, couple of shots sprayed out.
सब बाइक है.
Can't quite break it though, Moniette could really be that insurance player now.
ये राउंड ले लेगा तो फिर गया भाई.
प्लांट कर दिया आपने.
ले लेगा. अब PRX नहीं ले पाएगा. Loud ले लिया.
Forsaken just trying to play in tandem with each other, but they are overwhelming them. Mindfree towards that back, less. He's dodging and weaving, gliding across the floor. He finds it now, leaving it to Divide.
2v1.
Ticking away. What is the call here? Tapping again, this time less sticking, not making the same mistake as the prior game 2 years. Locking down the angle and approach.
तो बोले Loud ले लेगा.
Loud coming out with a big win there after allowing PRX to get in onto site. Really crucial.
अभी PRX का वो नहीं है, बाई नहीं है अभी. नहीं बाई है, PRX के पास बाई होगा. Forsaken के पास तो था ही पैसा. और लेस के पास तो वो था स्टिंगर. अभी समथिंग के पास स्टिंगर है देखो ना. सब सेव किया इस बार. माइंड्रिक सेव नहीं किया. अरे भाई क्या एम था भाई.
नहीं क्या कर रहा भाई. स्मोक ऑन करो.
सही बात है. जब पुश कर रहा है तो फिर स्मोक करना था ना. अपना ही नुकसान किया।
Here for PRX, making sure that they can absorb up all the orbs around the map.
नहीं लगा नहीं लगा नहीं लगा।
He's getting posted on A with the AWP. This is something that Loud have brought out fairly recently, but Tui's has been doing quite a lot of opping at this event so far.
Yeah.
And it allows them just to post him up on A, and they're not too worried. They can keep stacks towards the rest of the site. Having said that, Loud are mostly playing B for retake here. Not going to have any way of being able to challenge this.
Inside the market, Dizzy. What's that connection there onto QCK? So it looks like the wall is intact. Wasn't able to spam it down in time. Forsaken. Tux. Side by side wants to play together now. Him and
Okay.
here running back forwards, facing with it. The flash here, less running back, feeling really the heat and the pressure. But Kawazin seeks to relieve it, and now back into the action and the fight. Rolling front, committed.
दो जन भाई, दो प्लेयर दे रहा था उसको, दो प्लेयर कवर कर रहा था भाई क्विक को। भाई साहब।
On the table now, 2 left to go. Dropping down, knows they're not on it. Peeking through, another tap will force Mindfreak out into the open. Kawazin really seeking to deny this.
गया लाउड, खत्म, लाउड खत्म भाई, लाउड खत्म, लाउड खत्म। लाउड को वोट करने वालों, हाफ डिफ कर देता भाई, इतना वो लोग जो नटंगी किया ना। सोवा कौन था?
पहली बार हम
सोवा कौन था?
फौजिन ना? नहीं,
फौजिन तो ब्रीज है।
लेस और एक तो जो खेलता है।
नहीं लेस नहीं है, लेस तो वो है वाइपर।
नहीं लेस नहीं, लेस नहीं, और एक तो जो है
सड़क। हाँ, तो चिपक के रखना चाहिए था।
Way for things to turn around, because other than that the game plan is actually not really working here for PRX. So
guys, please subscribe to the channel.
But I think Alex will be happy to have a little chat with
अगर न्यू हो तो सब्सक्राइब कर दो।
Because what's happening is PRX are getting into post-plant situations quite a lot, and then they're forced to go for some post-plant aggression, and there's a bit of anti-synergy with the Sage wall and the positioning. You saw them swing with just stingers into market there without too much util at hand. They're finding it difficult to pick those timings to disrupt the Loud retake. And if they just sit there, they can do that against other teams, but not against the comp that
नहीं ए पे ही प्लान करेगा, देखना ना।
See if they change things up or coordinate that post-plant aggression.
देखो B के लिए सेज है ना, A पे
शॉटगन कोई नहीं है ना। अरे भाई, लाउड का सेव है, देखो ना, बात तो ही है। बाय नहीं है, बाय नहीं है, बात ये है। सेव का बात नहीं है, बाय नहीं है।
हाँ बाय नहीं है।
Got some of the best calm raw aim based on his crosshair placement that I've ever seen.
Slow beginning though for PRX, nice and cautious off the rip. Trying to see if Loud will overplay their hands initially. Lots of ults really to work with for PRX on top of that. So being given that B main control, essentially free. Looking like there is that hesitation though in terms of how they want to play it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've spotted Tui's, and that seems
PRX बहुत दिमाग से खेल रहा है भाई।
Tui's over towards A. It's not the Breach Phoenix setup.
सब आ गया B पे।
Because they were ready to go for the exec there, and now they've just come all the way back over towards A. And that's got to be a call from Mindfreak, I think, because he's the only one getting info on this side of the map earlier. They're going to hit a fairly weak site.
स्पॉट कर लिया होगा ना B पे 3 आदमी।
Orb rebounding, 2 years chance to play spoiler, but no, he's out of there. So sticking around to find out with this one. Hunter's Fury to deny this one.
एक तो गया, नहीं गया, अरे भाई, बच गया। उसको फ्लैश कर दिया भाई। सही गेम कर दिया उसके साथ।
No way of really using these flash players.
सड़क को अंधा कर दिया भाई।
Ultimate क्या ही जीतेगा वो लोग।
Going to be using this one nice and early, still holding for the shotgun. Molly at your feet, Mindfreak going to be pushed out to the open, and he is the critical player. Has to dodge and duck and weave away from these bullets. Led just flying straight past him as they're trying to attempt to clear through.
भाई, कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, क्या ही करेगा?
He's got so much more to do from this position. He just doesn't have enough info to really work with. Disastrous here for Loud with the fact that weaker investment. In fact, the total investment. Correction from me.
ऑप्शन ही नहीं था उन लोग के पास, लाउड के पास.
अब 12 जाना ही है गेम.
12 नहीं होगा.
लाउड बाहर. नहीं 12 पॉइंट हो ये लोग का पेपर एक्स का जाना ही.
टाइम आउट बचा हुआ है. नहीं
तुम देख रहे वाइपर अल्ट्रासाइट कैसे दे रहा. नहीं
उफ, अब खत्म.
लो ना खत्म.
ये मैच तो किसी भी हालत में लेना था भाई, ये वाला राउंड लेना था. अब तो नहीं हो पाएगा. खत्म कर दिया. उफ, अब क्या ही प्लान करना भाई. खत्म कर दिया.
पैसा मिलेगा ना.
पैसा मिलता है. प्लांट डिफ्यूज का भी क्या. उफ, ये मतलब डायमंड वाला प्ले कर दिया. पता है ये सब तो डायमंड में करता है, सब बॉल करके मारना. फ्लैट डायमंड, फ्लैट डायमंड.
हाँ लेकिन डायमंड में करता कौन है. ये हम एशिया में ही करता है ज्यादा.
हाँ एशिया में ही करता है. फ्लैट डायमंड वाला प्ले है ये सब.
लोग बेचारा
वो लोग सोचा भी नहीं होगा ऐसे करके मरेंगे हम लोग.
मनियट पुश कर दिया मिड.
और क्या.
अरे मार. साला कावजीन नहीं.
कावजीन बढ़िया खेल रहा है. ब्रीज जो बढ़िया खेल जाता है तो मतलब समझ जाओ कि ओह, समथिंग का एम देखा, स्नैप कर गया भाई. उसको स्नैप कर जा रहा है, देख रहे हो. ओ भाई बचा लिया.
वो बच गया.
बचा लिया भाई.
Zim was slowed up. Top A link had to take out 2 players where the trade. It looked like the spacing was good, and he'd already shut down that play from Monjet. Deletes 2 players as they come around the corner there. Mind Freak and Divide both falling, and it still came down to a 1v1. Oh.
You have to see that repeated a few more times. Loud. Ideally with a couple more players
Something
in
cop दे दिया देखो ना पहला
nasty hits to the eco. It'll have to be done if they want to stay alive in the series, stay alive in the tournament.
Attacking में ऑफ कर रहा है देखो. ऐसे पता है पीक निकालना बहुत जरूरी है. अटैक में करो या डिफेंड में करो, पीक निकालना बहुत जरूरी है. हाँ अरे खत्म. सेज को खत्म कर दिया. अब क्या रिवाइव है.
रिवाइव कर देगा. मार दिया. पता है बी खाली है.
Is he committed by something? He's looking to see if he can get himself onto the deeper line. You don't expect that. Drops it. 3 versus 3 now.
खत्म.
The knife attack. Info gathered. At least that they know.
अभी लोग को होल्ड करना है बस ऑपरेटर.
मरेगा ऊपर से ही.
Something going for the peak. Going for the peak. Catches it in the perfect timing. A bullet to the chest with the IGL.
क्या पीक कर रहा है भाई. मतलब एक बार में एक ही एंगल.
Stand 2 years to do the most. A fake with the TP, a paranoia evaded and dodged and juked, but the crossfire setup is too strong. It's too damn strong.
अरे
seal it away. Loud, drop it out. See you later. Sent to the airport.
ये कौन माइंड फ्रीक है क्या मोटू.
एयरपोर्ट बोल दे रहा कमेंटेटर.
दवाई
मोटू मोनियट.
मोनियट
DY है सॉरी हां
दवाई है मोनियर दोनों है मोटू है दोनों मोटू है
लेकिन सबसे मोटा वाला मोनियर
हाँ सब नहीं सबसे मोटा वाला दवाई है
नहीं देखो ना मोनियर लिखा है
नहीं दवाई है मोटा भी है लंबा भी है वो
अब कल है सेंटिनल वर्सेस
PRX क्या लगता है सेंटिनल हरा देगा हमको लग रहा है
हाँ भाई PRX हराना आसान है लाउड को हराना ज़्यादा
PRX still had that diligence to their play today. Still had a really nice close.
PRX भी ट्रॉफी लेके गया है भाई ऐसा नहीं है उसका आसान नहीं है
बहुत पहले 4 सेकंड जब था तब कभी नहीं लिया
लाउड का भी हाल में लिया
एम बहुत तगड़ा है ना बाकी लाउड तो अभी लिया
चल चीज हो गया इनका अपना कीबोर्ड माउस लेके आता है क्या ये लोग पैक कर रहा है
माउस कीबोर्ड सिर्फ अपना
पूरा पैक पार्सल उसर करके लेके जा रहा है भाई तो कीबोर्ड लाया साइन करवाने के लिए
But you know what though, I gotta say, I'm liking the ideas that I'm seeing there, even though sometimes they look a little bit rough. I like the way that something's just proactive, wants to get out there. He'll send Wingman to go and handle business.
पूरा ऑटोग्राफ सब ले रहा है कीबोर्ड में साइन करवा रहा है बात तो ही है
Working for him.
Yeah, we really didn't know what this team's style was going to be without Jing, but they have continued to find that themselves. Manyet has
चला जाए अब तो
this event, and
कल आते हैं फिर PRX और सेंटिनल्स का ना अब तो बहुत लेट हो गया हाँ कल खेलेंगे
लेकिन कल खेलेंगे
ठीक
आज नहीं कल
हाँ कल ही चलो let's stop the stream now good night guys
goodbye guys
like subscribe कर देना मिलते हैं कल वॉच पार्टी में यस सेंटिनल वर्सेस PRX PRX हारने वाली है कल okay see you tomorrow